I'm live.
Yeah.
I just sent you the link.
Ya lo tumbó.
Yeah.
Yo me imagino.
Yeah, hold on. Gracias, mi amor. Hey, y'all. I don't know. Somebody is crazy. The live stream just went down. I don't know what, but I think we good.
Yeah. But just to go back while people hopefully come piling back in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they will.
And like I was like, I was like, they ain't going to New York. And I wasn't trying to be Debbie Downer. I'm just like, I'm counting in my head. I'm like, that's a lot of money.
Right. It is.
That's a lot of money. So unless if I had $60,000 and gave it to them, that would be one thing. And I was like, I just don't see that many people, unless you can get a single big financier. People aren't going to be as they'll don't. I don't know.
You know what? In Rico, can you hear me talking?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You know what I told them? I said, if y'all don't get all the money up, at least y'all can put it toward new uniforms. New materials.
That's what you should do with it. Right. Don't give the money back. Do something else. But I'm just in there saying, maybe they need to start with trying more locally. Say, hey, let's do the big dance off in Santo Domingo or La Vega or somewhere else, or maybe neighboring Puerto Rico. Hell, we can go get on the ferry and take the ferry over for cheaper for a day or two and get back. You have to start smaller before you have the big, because again, like I said, flying to the US with that many kids and chaperones, I'm like, that's airfare tickets, Spirit Airlines.
Right.
$30,000. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, y'all, I'm sorry we got kicked off. We back on now. I don't know what happened. It was a glitch or something. Or I don't know. Or maybe Nikki might have hit the wrong
accidentally ended. That's all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what happened. But we back up, y'all.
Yeah.
So Rico, so let me ask you something, man. I have been putting, 90% of my videos I've been putting out, happy. I'm loving the Dominican Republic. My body's doing good. I've been putting out, but every time that 5% when I talk about women or beautiful women, they say, "Oh, I'm showing ass and tits," and then the other 5%, oh, stop talking about colorism and racism in the Dominican Republic. So those are the two that I get. Now, when I'm showing Jordan and the family and having fun, nobody says nothing. Doing stuff for the orphanage. Papa, quit. I'm doing stuff for the orphanage. Nobody says nothing. 95%. But the other percentage, man, I get some nasty comments.
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
I want to talk about it all. We just need to talk about it all. And you always tell me that. Talk about the good and the bad.
You got to talk about it all, and the bottom line is, you're always going to have those who don't want to hear it. And I get it, that's how they feel or what they think, but that's not, I don't think not discussing things that subscribers, that when they go, they're going to see. I don't want anybody to come to the DR and be blindsided by something that we could have told them. Say, look, this is how it is.
Right.
Whether I like it or not. Because no one told you, but when you get off that plane and as you walk around, you see the things we discuss. We're not discussing things that we don't see.
Right.
I'm not pulling out my ass or somebody sent the question, say, oh, talk about race. And I didn't see it. It's like, I see the disparities. Mm-hmm. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying we see it. We see it for what it is. And I tell them always, too, it's like, it's not even a Haitian thing. No. I'm talking about, as you did with your last video, this is a Black Dominican, an unambiguously Black Dominican that just, and I've had discussions with dark skin. And so here's the thing, what I always get into is the ones that tell you to be quiet are the ones who never really sat down with a dark-skinned Dominican and asked them how they feel. Right. They never done it. See, and what happens is a lot of dark-skinned Dominicans, I think, because no one ever asked them how they feel, they just don't talk about it. It's just like, we don't talk about it. And I get it. I was like, you don't talk about it, but it doesn't mean they don't feel a certain kind of way. Because I told you, I had a friend of mine that told me every time she takes her kids to the doctors, and she looks Haitian, they ask her, she has to show her ID, everything. And I can imagine how that would just chip away at you. Your mental and emotional, you're in the country, and every time you do something because of whatever reason that's going on with another country, they're constantly, I can't imagine what it feels like to walk around in a country that you love, that you were born and raised in, that you are a citizen of, and to have to feel
Carlos,
like they don't want you.
Right. And
And
Carlos
Carlos
said, I would never try to apply for a job at some casino or some
because
type of out in the front. He said
right,
he
so
would have to. He would always have to work in the back. He would have to be a cook or something like that. He said he would love to be to work and speaking English. He would love to work at a hotel at the Marriott.
He just don't believe he doesn't believe he belongs there, and that's what I'm saying.
He said he'll be wasting his time if he put an application in at the Marriott because he's too dark. That's what he said.
That is textbook racism, even to the point that the people that's being afflicted by it, the people that it's happening to, don't feel like it's happening to them because they're just, that's called conditioning. That's the same thing they used to say about people that when they spend a certain amount of time in prison, they become institutionalized. Your mind adjusts and adapts to your condition, positive or negative, but it doesn't mean that the condition isn't negative. You can be in a very negative space. Your mind will just adjust to that. This is just the norm. This is just the way it's supposed to be. Even though it's not. So, so they don't want that. Obviously, they don't want people on the outside who see it. They want to tell you, oh, don't say nothing about it. Ain't got nothing to do with you. I'm like, motherfucker, Trujillo didn't get to me. He got to you. And he hoodwinked you, even to the point I told you where I was on Bridget's, because she did a good video. I think it was a plain vanilla video simply talking about
that's Ebony Ladies. That's Ebony Ladies in the DR.
Ebony Ladies in the DR. And her video was about how she realized that because of all the roundups of the Haitians, illegal, whether or not you agree with that or not, the effect that it's having on the construction, the building industry, because we all know, I can tell you in Punta Cana, I'm sorry, it's Haitians building all that shit. That's what it is. It's like, don't even play with me. We're not even gonna have that fucking conversation.
Let me say this, Anthony. No, I'm not letting the trollers get to me, brother. Hey, this wait until this Dion stuff come out. They really gonna be trolling my ass. But anyway, go ahead.
So with that's just the reality. So what I'm saying is, she did a regular video, and she literally paired it up to the same thing that we said, like in America. What in America, they always, we don't want the immigrants, we want the immigrants. I'm like, no, I want them motherfuckers. Why? Because they work in the fields. And those are jobs that I know Americans are not going to go do. We are not going back to doing agricultural work. Most of us are not going to go back, even with a good salary. You can pay me $50 an hour to pick chickens. I'm not picking no fucking chickens. I'm not doing, that's backbreaking work. There are certain jobs that when you are a citizen of a country and you become accustomed to not doing, you just don't want to go back to it. You just ain't going to do it.
Right. Look what Patrick says. Well, first of all, Junior, how's it going, Coach? My name is Junior. Hey, man, welcome to the channel, Junior. I appreciate it. I did an interview with Manuel. Hey, man, thank you so much. You did a wonderful job. If you ever want to come up and talk, man, I'll drop the link for you, brother. Hey, look, Patrick says, as a light-skinned Haitian, colorism exists even in our culture. If I don't tell you I'm Haitian, you won't know. So I know.
But that's and thank you for saying that, Patrick. But I'm not in the least bit surprised about that, because colorism exists in Africa. It doesn't, anywhere where there are people. Colorism exists in India. That's why they bleach in Africa. They bleach in India. They bleach in Asia, because colorism and people favoring lighter skin is a thing that's all over the world. It is not a DR problem. It's a global problem.
Why does people? Because we talk about everything on the channel, but why people get their panties in the wad when we talk
because they want to continue on in the practice of what they were practicing, no matter how fucking backwards it is. Literally, colorism is a global problem. So for all the ones that want to clip this shit, it is in Africa, it is in Asia, it is in Latin America. It is not just a DR problem. But I'm not going to say
Big
it
J
ain't in the DR.
Shout out to you, brother.
Right. That's bullshit to say, oh, well, it don't happen. Yeah, it happens there. It happens in Africa. It happens in Asia. It happens in all of them. Just because you don't want to talk about it, it doesn't go away. So we even have problems with sexism or things like that. It's like not talking about a problem doesn't make a problem go away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we have to talk about it. All I'm sitting there saying is when people tell you, oh, shut up, don't talk about that. I'm like, man, fuck you. That's bullshit.
Right.
You can't, telling me to talk about it is, and me talking about it doesn't make the problem worse.
Rico, I sent you the link. The guy said, hey, Manuel, I see the guys talk about colorism and stuff. You need to start your own channel and separate from Coach John and the Dominican route and start your own channel. And Manuel was like, man,
look, this is what I wanted to finish with you, because I was telling you, right?
Go ahead.
I mean, Bridget I was like, her video wasn't that bad. All she was saying is, with them rounding up all these people, this is affecting the construction industry over the whole entire island. Everybody know who does that work. We know that they're being exploited by the developers. I get that. We know that they're paying them pennies on the dollar. I get that. But I'm like, even if you send all them back to Haiti, Dominicans are not going to go out there in that fucking hot sun and build them houses for that money. We know that. So that means it stops. And that's what she was talking about. And she said, look, I just wish people didn't think emotionally and they thought about it from a more broad-based way. And I'm like, realistically, I'm like, Bridget, it's an election. I think they vote for president in May in the DR.
Right.
So because it's an election, that's a big thing. Oh, round up all the Haitians, show that I'm tough on immigrants, and he's definitely gonna probably be reelected. I hope he
will. And they're building the wall now. They're building the wall.
Yeah, but this is what I'm telling you. Right after he gets reelected, right? All those motherfuckers they deported, they're gonna be sending the buses to go get them.
Right.
Right after he gets elected.
Because construction it didn't slow down a lot, especially in one part.
And at that point, they're going to need the very people that they just deported. So they're going to bring them back. This is an election year. He needs to get reelected. And after he gets reelected, fuck that shit. Because all his benefactors, all these developers are rich Dominicans. Right. They want cheap labor. They don't want to pay Dominicans a good wage.
And don't quote me on it. Miss Shania going to be coming up in a minute. But Miss Shania said her stuff slowed down a little bit because, for
same thing. They want cheap with this, and it's not even a DR thing. In America, we want illegal immigrants because Purdue, which is the largest fucking chicken farm and seafood plant in America, we have teenage immigrants working in slaughterhouses in America. Because guess what? Americans, we don't work in slaughterhouses. We're not doing that shit. We're not doing that shit for no amount of money. You can offer me $75 an hour. I'm not working there gutting no cows, no pigs, no chick. Them motherfuckers is big, it's bloody, it's backbreaking work. You could say $200 an hour. I'm not working that hard. Mm-hmm. But guess who will do that work? Immigrants.
Right.
That's the point. So mostly that's what, I'm not, but Rick James, I'm going to read it. I'm not saying I want illegal immigrants. I'm saying, I bet you this, Rick James, you ain't willing to do none of the fucking work they do.
Shout out to Rick James.
That's my guy. But I bet you this, You are not willing to do that work. That's what I think Bridget was talking about. She wasn't talking about legal or illegal. She was talking about who's going to do the jobs that we don't want to do. And every country has a bunch of jobs that people don't want to do. As a perfect example, I don't know if you guys know here where I'm at in Maryland, the Baltimore Bridge, of the cargo ship hit it.
Right.
It's, I want to say maybe Tuesday or
I
Wednesday,
heard about it.
and it fell, just that whatever. That's the number one port in America for shipping cars and trucks around the world. Everything. It's a huge major shipping port. All of the people who died on that bridge were immigrants because they were filling potholes at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Because Americans don't want that job.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want that job. So right. I don't care what you are. I'm just telling you, there's a lot of work. And right, and I get you. You're right. There is a difference between immigrants and illegal immigrants.
Right.
But nonetheless, again, your argument is not with me when you talk about undocumented or illegal immigrants. Thank you, Monteclaro, David Lee. It was Tuesday morning. It is literally the companies. It is the companies that actually are employing these people all over the world. So when people say, I'm like, but then and these companies donate money to the president. Same thing in the DR.
Right.
All his fucking donations is coming
from Rico, this is very, very important. I got to cut everybody off on this. My birthday is in 2 more days. We
don't care.
I want you to say happy birthday to me, man. Thank you. Sing it for me. My birthday, April 3rd. Dang, that's messed up. Anyway.
Happy birthday, radio. Here you go. Salute to you, radio.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You be what, 68? 68, 69?
No, that's your age. Shit. Yeah, but anyway, man. Look, I got to read what somebody sent me about the channel tequila thing in shot, and Iowa. Gracias, mi amor. Okay, I got to read this, Rico. This is David Lee says, who is the person that told Manuel to start his own channel? Let me read this. His name is One Humas or something. He says, I enjoyed the videos. I like that you are part of the show, but not always talking about racism. You don't seem to get caught up in all the negativity. I didn't know we talk about negativity all the time, Rico. But
it was just a regular question, and I think it was a valid question because, again, I've always told you before. I said that the only thing that always intrigued me is like if we're going to ask someone about racism, it's ridiculous for me to come to the DR and ask a white Dominican about racism. He don't fucking experience it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it makes, so all this time, and even someone that's mixed or light skinned, it's not the same.
It's not the same. And that's why I get
a very dark skinned person. It's different for them.
Carlos did a good job.
Yeah, he did a great job because that was the first time I heard. I was like, I'm surprised that he was as honest as he was. Because usually, and I don't think he was honest enough, but the fact was, he was honest in a way that usually they'll never be on camera.
Right.
Now, when you turn that camera off, oh my God, I'm sorry I asked the question.
Let me finish what he said. He said
they don't want to.
Manuel, you should start your own channel because it's too much negativity on the Dominican route.
But you know who we need. You know who I would like to ask about it more so is and I think who in my mind is a rock star is Armando's father.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
because I think I think at his age he has no fucks to give, so he'll tell the truth direct and not care.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. He ain't worried about no job. He ain't worried about how nobody feel. He has no fucks to give. And That's what
One shot for my birthday. One shot for my birthday. Salute.
so look,
No, Mr. Mondo
father.
father, Mr. Fado Senior, Mr. Mondo Senior. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think more so than Armando, because I don't think Armando will be as open.
Right.
And that's my problem. It's like Armando, he worried because you know what it is? He worried about customers and stuff like that. Mr. Armando don't care.
Right. Hey, Miss Shania. Hey, sister, how you doing?
Hey, everybody, how you doing?
Good, good.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Yes.
No, it's Happy Semana Santa.
Semana Santa.
Semana Santa. That's right. We were just talking about things that's going on, and I'm so proud of you with your project. Have you noticed that it's slowed down a little bit with the building process? I'm just asking. I'm not 100% sure, but have you noticed anything like as far as the people, the construction, has it slowed down?
No, I don't think so. Definitely not in Punta Cana. I don't think so.
Okay,
No.
but have it slowed down with your project?
As far as some of the processes, yeah, but some of the processes take longer depending on what it is.
Gotcha.
Definitely like title work and some of the permissions that you get from the, different, how you say it,
Code
different.
enforcement or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like about 6 different processes when it comes to like title and getting permission. So each office has their own process.
Right.
So yeah, some of them are faster than others, but anytime you're dealing in Dominican Republic is just slower than what we're accustomed to.
Right. Real quick, I didn't mean to cut y'all off, but Miss Shania has the properties in on the beachfront, and that's in Guayacanes, and it's really coming along really well. And if you're interested in buying a property in Guayacanes, make sure you reach out to me. And Miss Shania is awesome, and she'll help you out step by step. But anyway, Rico, you go ahead, Miss Shania. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all I really was gonna say about that. I mean, I guess it just depends on what you're doing. Well, I'll tell you one process that took us like 5 months
What's
was
that?
like moving the electric wire. That's the neighbor's wire out of the area where I'm moving. So it got to the point where I'm like, I have my building up, my walls up, and I still got this wire coming through from the neighbor. And yeah, so finally, yeah, I think it was like last week, something like that. We've been hounding them. My husband has went to the office twice. The lawyer has went twice. The project managers went. So yeah, so that stuff like that. That's yeah.
You know who had a similar problem was Troy had a similar problem with his apartment where it took him like 4 months to get the electric hooked up. And we have a pretty, I'm not sure who's your electric company where you're at, but we supposedly got a good electric company that's private, but it still took them like 4 months. And he said he had to have the lawyers and all that. And that's just, I'm like, because just for his apartment build in front of his house, that it took that long. So I think the question I wanted to ask you was in particular, because I'm not sure if you know about Bridget from Ebony Ladies in the DR.
I've been a follow her since before.
Yeah. The only reason why I asked was because she did a video a few days ago, and she was saying how a lot of the construction projects have slowed down since what she called the Haitian Roundup.
Well, I mean, I could see that. Yeah. I mean, I could see that definitely. Yeah, I mean, I can see that definitely happen. Actually, when she put that video out, I reached out to my project manager and asked her, was she having any problems? Because she's never mentioned anything about that. Because the way Guaya Counties is, it has like little pockets, and they work in that area because it's also construction area in that particular area because of Juan Dalio, and they're doing a lot of construction in that area, so they're there also. But she says she hasn't really inquired any problems. I think a couple of months back, she was like, "Yeah, I gotta chill out," and she's doing it in certain times of the day because they were like basically like, come around sometimes asking for money and different stuff like that. But as far as our experiences, luckily, we haven't really had any problems.
Shut up. Hey, Junior, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
You muted. You
You
muted, Junior.
You got it on mute. You got it on mute.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna
You hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, I did actually did an interview with Manuel a couple months ago.
Thank you so much, brother.
I was born in DR. I left here when I was 8 years old. I went through hard times in New York, and made the wrong choices in life. So I was deported back to DR. And I believe his name is Rico. You guys are speaking about racism and stuff. Like, I've never experienced that in the States, but here I've had experienced it, especially hanging around with, I want to say white Dominicans. You definitely feel it. A lot of times they see me, like the way I dress and everything, they think that I'm, from another planet, if you want to say that. It's like I jump on the metro and it's like, wow, is he black? Is he Haitian? What is he? They don't think I'm Dominican unless I speak. So what Carl was talking about, that also happens with jobs here. Like I've worked in a call center ever since I've been here. I've been here 7 years, and pretty much that's all we have here for people that know English. So,
Junior, can I ask you a question? I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
But the one I want to ask you is, and I'm so glad you came on, and I'm so glad you said that because for me it adds credibility to the story because you are Dominican, you were born here, you spent time in the States, and now you're back and you see things. Because, like you said, it's now you probably spent most of your time. I think I saw your interview with Manuel up in Washington Heights.
Actually, I went since the age of 9, so about 2 years lived in Washington Heights, and then I went to Long Island.
Okay, but like so maybe so I don't know why you didn't experience, and I'm like, because in America, there's no guarantee you're going to experience racism, even though racism exists. It depends on where you are, what your experience is, what your environment is. So you can be in a place where you're very segregated, so you're very protected, or you can be in a place where it's not segregated, and then you're very vulnerable. What I think I like about what you said is, or my question is, as a Dominican going back into the country, do you think you see, this is what I always struggle with, do Dominican people actually know what racism is when they see it? So I think sometimes they see it and they don't think it is, they just think, oh, that's just the way it is.
Exactly. They think that's just the way it is. But you're coming
from the US, that's what this is.
And then I see it more towards Haitians. Like I said, I grew up in the States. My graduating class was 1,200 kids from different nationalities and everything. I come here and it's like, why are the Haitians treated this way when I've never seen that? Like I have Haitian friends here, there, and like we talk and, one thing I try not to speak a lot on is like politics, religion, and racism, because it's like it's never ending. Everybody has their own opinions, but you do need to speak about it. But yeah, it's different.
And what about Miss Shania? Do you feel the same way?
I never really dealt with racism growing up. I grew up in a small town in South Georgia. I know some people think, small towns in Georgia, we waving the Ku Klux Klan flag. It was not like that at all. Like, yeah, no, not at all. Now, when I came to Atlanta, I think the only time that I've really felt that way is when a white guy in a truck drove by me and he was like, boom, So, and I was in Marietta, so that's known in that area, Cobb County. And I was like, man, I've been living my whole life in Georgia and I live in South Georgia. You would think you were coming South Georgia, but I
Yeah,
come
but
to
Shana, I think it could go to what, like I was telling Junior, is like even you can be like, because like Alabama, like Mississippi, I think a third of the state of Mississippi is black. But it's like 33% of the population in Mississippi is black. But Mississippi is one of the most racist states in America. But you can grow up in Mississippi and never experience racism because you're in a very segregated area where so you won't experience it. So you'll be like, oh no, they're not racist here in Mississippi because I've never heard nobody go. I'm like, hey, you've been among all black people, so you're protected. But when you go outside of that space and you start to see the behaviors being different, so I only say that because, again, like I said, going back to what Junior said, is like I grew up in Washington D.C. predominantly black. I didn't know anything else. But once I went into the military and went outside, I started to see things differently. And then, of course, as I became more educated, you start to see the little subtle, what they call microaggressions and things like that. So like you said, it's like, I basically, I said, I literally got into a fight with somebody on Bridget in the comments because every time you say anything remotely around race to a Dominican, they will pull out their history book on you, right?
Some, not all of them. Some.
No, I'm saying no, they'll pull out their history. But where they always fuck up is, I'm like, I know Dominican history. I know it. So when they say things like, oh, we had the Mocha massacre, I'm like, yeah, you did. You had the Parsley massacre too. But you don't want to talk about that. And they'll say, oh, well, Haiti invaded us. I'm like, the U.S. invaded you twice. You don't want to say anything about that. So, when you, and it's like, so I'm like, I tell them, like, look, you can feel about Haitians any way you want. Then you have to explain to me why you don't feel the same way about the U.S., who did the same thing. They did the same thing. They literally came in, y'all voted for a president. They came in and said, nah, that motherfucker can't be president, and kicked him. That's what Mr. Armando Father told us. And he fought for that. So why are you not mad at the white country, but you won't let go hating the black country? You really need to explain to me that, because again, the United States, as recently as 1965, invaded this country, killed people, and said, no, if we voted for you, Junior ain't gonna be the president. I don't give a fuck what you say. Get him out of here, and I'm gonna put in who we want. And they did that, and y'all didn't do anything. And y'all love us. So why, if that's okay, why are you upset about something that happened 200 years ago?
I want to say something real quick. Something that I don't understand about some Dominicans, they don't consider themselves black. And I'm like, well, we all come from, to me personally, I know my ancestors, my blood comes from Africa. I'll never deny that, because where is my color, my skin come? It doesn't come from Europe. It comes from Africa. But some Dominicans don't consider themselves as coming from black descent. And it's sad. Another thing is here is education. A lot of things they don't teach Dominicans about where they really come from.
Right. Yeah.
So if you're not educated, you come from.
Look at this comment right here. It said, but maybe some of you want to act like only one side is evil and one side is bad. And I understand what he's saying by that. You kind of get what he's saying.
Yeah.
But go above. He's like, this is the part that get me. Go above, 2 comments above. He's trying to say, now this is what he's trying to say, that Dominicans have the same amount of animosity towards the U.S. as they do towards Haitian. That is not true. We know that is bullshit. It is bullshit. And if they feel equally, what I'm saying is, if they feel equally angry about both, I'd leave them alone, because I'd be like, hey, yeah, anybody that invades you, have that same, what the young folks say, have that same energy for them all. But you only got that energy for one, fine. Fuck the Haitians. But I want to hear y'all march up and down the street saying fuck the US too, because they did the same thing. And y'all don't say anything about it because you take their money and you fucking acquiesce to them. So if you're going to forgive them for what they did, because you overlooked them with what they did, if you're going to forgive them for their invasion, and that's what it was, and the second time was a few months, the first time it was like 8 or 9 years. Look up the history. The U.S. invaded the DR and said, this is what you're going to do. If you're going to forgive them for that, then goddamn it, let that go too.
Well,
Go ahead.
They're black, like
Right.
predominantly black, and their color is predominantly black. Whereas Americans, we come in all shades. I mean,
right. Yeah.
we're majority of Caucasian descent.
But yeah,
Majority of the people of Caucasian descent. So
True.
Americans are more accepted for that point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, depending on what shade you are, you know, like myself, they don't know that I'm not Dominican when I come. They don't know that. The only time they know is if I open up my mouth.
Right.
But they have this concept like all African Americans look one way, and it's not true. We come in the exact same shades as they do. They don't understand that. They're ignorant to that, but they think we're all dark skinned or caramel or dark. I mean, we come in a array of colors exactly the same as Dominicans. You know,
Let me ask you this. So did you see the interview, Miss Shania, with Carlos that I did?
No, no, I didn't.
Okay, so that's my last video I did. He's a dark-skinned Dominican. That's he's a part of the family. But do you think they will ever have some type of movement where like, hey, y'all are wrong for treating dark-skinned people different in this country? Because I don't see it happening, and I would love to see that happen. But a lot of Dominicans like, leave it alone. Just leave us alone. We good. But the dark-skinned Dominicans don't think that y'all good. They say y'all do colorism all the time. Every dark-skinned Dominican I talk to is like, man, I can't get no job over here, and here, but I can be a school teacher, or I can do this, but certain jobs I would never go and even apply for.
I mean, yeah, that's true. And just think about how they structure their school system. You know, it's just like here in the United States. We get the worst books. We get the worst education. We get the worst teachers in the black areas. Same thing goes on in Dominican Republic. When my husband was going to school, they didn't even have books. They had to pay for books in order to study at public school. Now it may be different. He's saying it has progressed some now, but if you take away a book, I can't learn. Now it used to be that 100 years ago during slavery time, they didn't want us to read. You know why they didn't want us to read? Because
Shania, you know what's
knowledge
funny?
is power.
I was telling Coach before I came, and he confirmed it with Manuel class. I said, because even in the U.S. for a long while, we had figured out historically was like in the classroom, and I'm glad you brought that up, and this is where it starts. It starts in the education system. In the classroom, if you go to a lot of the classroom and you just look, just visually observe, you will see the darker skinned students in the back of the classroom. It's been studied. Children to the front of the class learn more and learn better than
That's
children
true.
in the back of the classroom.
That's true.
They're called on more. They're given extra instruction. All of these things subliminally that people think, oh, well, they're in the room, but they're not learning anything, or they're learning less back there than they are to the front, because either they gravitate towards there, every people subliminally think that's where they belong. They don't get called on. It's not that they can learn less, they're being taught less. So you have that aspect of it. When we look at like all of these things, I didn't realize until, and be honest, I got the email. I'm gonna pull it up because John know I subscribe to all this shit. I didn't realize that until the last year. The Dominican police, they only was required to have an 8th grade education. Yep. I'm not making this shit up, okay? Don't believe me. It was an 8th grade education to be the police. Now they require, with the new pay increase, that you have to have a high school diploma.
Right.
This is what's going on, okay? The crazy part about it is, and I told John, I said, this is the thing that always gets me, okay, and on the race issue. They'll literally look me in the face and tell me, Rico, we don't see color. If you've heard that, raise your hand. How they don't see color. Then you know what I asked them? Why the fuck do y'all call people Chino? Why do you call people Chino? That means you see them. And if you see them, you see what color they are. Fuck that bullshit.
Right. Hey, let me get to this. I always like to get to our members that join the Dominican route. Dr. HP, I would disagree. The term black is an American concept created to further perpetrate the superiority dynamics.
That's
of
correct.
Socially.
That's
Go
correct.
ahead, Rico.
No, I'm just saying that's correct. I wanted to co-sign Dr. HP. That is correct, but that still doesn't take away from anything that we say. That's just, but that is correct. So I wanted to co-sign that, but it doesn't take away from anything that we said.
Right. Black Americans decided to embrace it and create a culture of black is beautiful, but it is an American concept. That's true. I agree with that. So to answer, nobody answered my question yet. Do you believe that it will ever be an uprising where they said, "Hey, enough is enough. We want the jobs at the front of the casinos, and we want the jobs at the airports, and the dark skinned people want the jobs up front also."
Yes, it will happen no time soon.
But no time soon. Go ahead.
Yeah, I believe so. Like you say, Rico, no time soon, but eventually it will happen. You understand also, maybe with the new generation coming up, it would happen, but not with the elders. They're not elders they're stuck in their ways, so they'll never fight.
They'll fade out. That makes sense. They'll kind of fade out. Yeah. But that's the same thing in the United States. My mom talks about it all the time. I can't wait till these racist bastards die off, these old racist bastards. My mama said.
It's fun that you say that too, because I lived in South Carolina. My daughters were actually born there. So one of my daughter's mother's Puerto Rican.
He broke up.
Go
ahead, Michelle. You was about to say something?
No. I was just like, he's in South Carolina. Oh yeah, he knows what's up.
I know. Go ahead, Junior. That was good. You was getting good. I was enjoying this story. Shut up, John. Let the man talk.
So,
guys, it's not the color. It's your connection.
Shut up. Let Junior finish his story. You can read afterwards.
It just came back on, Rico.
We've heard it. You wasn't listening.
Oh, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
All right. I moved out there, as I said before, both my daughters were born there. So one of my youngest daughter's mom is Puerto Rican. We were at the Waffle House. And the one girl was like, right to my face, no, but to her face, why you can't get one of your own kind? So we both looked at each other. I'm like, what do you mean your own kind? I've never lived in South Carolina before. So she was like, yeah, your own kind, Mexican. I'm like, but she's not even Mexican. She's Puerto Rican. She goes, they're all the same. I'm like, wow. So it's like, that was the first time I experienced some type of racism is when I lived in South Carolina. So yeah.
Yeah, so just to be clear, they do have racism as well against Hispanic people because in America they see everybody. So I understand what you're saying, right, Dr. Black? So you say, oh, they should stop calling them as black. If they present as black, then it would make sense for them to this is the way I look at it, right? And this is where people get hung up. And let me tell y'all, I've done my DNA test. It's predominantly African, but there's some European. So there's some Scottish and some other little shit here to mix, right? So could I claim that? Absolutely. Would I look stupid claiming it? Absolutely. So we're basically telling people you don't have to, but it makes sense to identify how you present. In other words, I look like a man, right? I could feel like a woman. Me putting on a dress and a wig doesn't change that.
Wait a minute, Rico. Be careful.
I'm saying, and I'm going to the extreme. I'm going to the extreme to explain that people can go, well, because I always get upset when people, well, you shouldn't say this. Like, but come on, we live in the world. Yeah. We live in the real world, and we all have eyes. So when I see a person that presents a way that society has always structured, that this person is black, this person is white, this person is Asian, because again, I make them synonymous. Dominicans don't want to identify as black, but they call fellow Dominicans Chino. Why are you calling them Chino? They're not Chinese, they're Asian, but they are Dominican, and they've been in the DR for multiple generations, and you don't see their ethnicity, you don't see their culture, you see their skin color, and you make a determination based on how they present. And if you're going to do that, then you should do the same. If you're going to look at an Asian Dominican and call him fucking Chino and you're fucking black, then you should identify as black, because when they see you, guess what they see? A black person.
Right. That's true. That's true. But I've seen Chinese people and Dominicans get into a fight, and the Chinese person say, Dominicano, shut up, cállate. They don't say black, but the Dominican says China, cállate, but
exactly.
then it goes back, and then so that's kind of strange, because one says Dominican and one says Chinese, but the Chinese don't say black.
No. Because again, like I said, Dominicans.
Now our black people, our black Chinese say, "You black bastard, get the hell out!"
No, but the point of the matter is this, John. The Dominican wants to be seen by his culture and ethnicity, but he looks at a Asian Dominican and will call him based on his race. He don't want to be seen by his race, but he wants to look at other people by their race. I'm like, then you can't look at me and call me Chino, because I'm Dominican too. But what they go by is what they see. All my that's Chino. Like, why the fuck you call him Chino? He's that's Dominican, just like you.
Yeah.
He been here. Look, here's the funny thing about it. I swear to God. And John gonna tell me I'm not lying. Do you know what the fucking head of the national police of the entire country is? Chino.
Really?
He's Chino. The number one police officer in the entire motherfucking country is Chino. And when they see him, they call him Chino. He has been multiple generational in the DR, because in Constanza, they have a huge Japanese population.
Yep.
Okay. They have Chinese all in Santo Domingo who've been, I don't mean just recently, I'm talking about 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. But when they see them, Chino, why are you calling him Chino? He's Dominican like you. Since you don't want to be identified by race, stop identifying others. But they don't. Right. So that tells me you motherfuckers see color.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see color.
Hey, all right, let's talk about real estate right now, real quick, y'all, because I really want to ask Miss Shania some things. And Junior, you gonna be able to help us out with this real estate a little bit?
Yeah, definitely, because I am in the process of buying an apartment.
Okay, good, good. Okay, here in the DR, and what part?
Yeah, I've been waiting 2 years, Santo Domingo Este by Mixer. You know, Mixer is out in España.
Oh yeah, you're not too far from me. I'm in Juan Bosch, so that's not too far from me.
Oh
I
no, no,
mean,
yeah, I go to the roof, I can see the ocean.
Okay,
I
cool,
mean,
cool.
it's
That's what's
fine.
up. That's what's
That's my favorite area.
I was just
up.
there earlier walking the dog.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's some of the things that just jump out to you all as y'all three are have properties that bought properties. What's things
Mhm.
that people need to watch out for that the 20 people that's on right now? Like what's things that you guys can help us out with in real estate?
Ladies first.
Uh, Number one, you definitely have to do your due diligence. Um, don't accept a referral for an attorney or whoever just because they say it. Check them out. Um, because unfortunately, a lot of people are getting robbed even by attorneys. Um,
Oh, so time out real quick. I want to thank you for going off on Rico the first time you met him and talked to him
no,
and went at it. I appreciate that. Good job. Yeah, it made me feel
no,
so good.
No, Shanat. Let's level set it, right? Because again, I do think, and John's correct. It was a little contentious, but what I was trying to say, this is what I'm saying. No, in all fairness, I was trying to say because like I work in the legal industry, and
yeah.
what I was always trying to tell people is like I can trust you or I can believe you, but still, no matter what, even if you told me, okay, Rico, I'm gonna sell you some property, I'm still gonna go get my own lawyer. I'm like, yeah, I think I like her, this, that, whatever, but fuck that shit, So I always encourage people to do that. So when I
Mhm.
was saying what I was saying it was like that's just more of in the legal industry we call ethics.
Set
It's
out the
like
AC.
even if I'm selling you something, I don't want you to trust me. Even if you trust me, I want
Mhm.
you to check behind me. So like you said then says like look,
No,
and I'm not
definitely.
pick a lawyer for you. If you go pick a sorry lawyer, I didn't tell you to go pick him. That's on you.
Yeah, I can't vouch for that. But like
Yeah,
I was saying before, is that I conduct business exactly like we do here in Georgia. That's
there
exactly
you
how
go.
we do.
Exactly.
You just have to do a lot more due diligence in Dominican Republic. I would say for anybody that is thinking about purchasing, definitely speak to someone that has purchased, that speaks your language, and don't speak to someone that doesn't speak your language. Definitely. Do multiple surveys, have people look at your title work, more than one person looking at title work. um, Even if it costs you $500, you need to do it in Dominican
Right.
Republic. Don't Certain steps in Dominican Republic you cannot be cheap on. So if you're worried about paying like $400 or $500 for a survey or something like that, you don't need to buy in Dominican Republic because
That's right. Yeah, trying to
you
penny
know,
pinch. You're absolutely right. You
you
agree with that, Junior?
Definitely. I would also want to say, look up the history of the business. How long they've been in business. How many properties do that one was called Constructora with, the property um, owners, how many properties they have built. Go check it out. Don't just, me, I looked at so many properties, so many places before we decided on getting something. The one thing that I kind of am pissed about here that um, they just raised us 800,000 pesos, and they blamed it on cost of material and the U.S. dollar going up, but the U.S.
Hey,
dollar hasn't
real
gone up that
quick.
much.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but the prices are going up. They're not going down, are they?
No, no, they're going up.
All right, go
We
ahead. Go ahead.
bought the property we bought 2 years ago at 5.4 million pesos. Right now, It's not finished, and it's already appraised at 6 million pesos.
How much is that in dollars? Because our audience, I'm sorry.
So right now,
it'll help to give them a reference point.
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, because they just
59.
Hey, shout out to John Baptiste for the super chat. That's I'm gonna buy me a Presidente with that because my birthday is in 2 more days. Happy birthday to me.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you, John Baptiste.
So 6 million pesos, that's $101,000, $101,000 right now. So U.S. currency.
And what was it before? What was it before?
Before it was let me see, 50. It was 5.4 million pesos, which it was 2 years ago. So let's say 2 years ago the U.S. dollar was what? I think it was like, let's say 54.
Gotcha. So are you?
Well, hold on. We want to do the math to see what the increase is.
I'm sorry.
Because that shows like the valuation.
Right. That's the wrong word, Rico, but I know what you're talking about.
No, that's the right word. Tell him, Shana, I'm right.
You be saying big words and don't be making no sense.
Because I know you don't know the meaning.
55.
How much?
Oh, wait. I'm doing the math wrong. Wait a minute. What's going on here? 4.5.
It was
divided by, I think it was at 54 that, 2 years ago, the US dollar.
And what was the value of it then?
5.4 million pesos divided by, but let's put it at 55, the US dollar at 55.
So that was 98,181. And now it's how much?
101. $101,000.
Hey, John Baptiste.
No, million.
Yeah,
right. Okay, so 90, right. So it went up like about $4,000 in value.
Yeah.
So my question, so that's definitely an increase. But here's my question, or my observation that I did see in doing research, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Shania, because like I said, you big on it, and you too, Junior. So both of you, I saw in the newspaper article they had talked about the prevalence of a lot of real estate in the Dominican Republic not being registered through the land, through the land office, whoever it is. And they said something like about 55% or 60% was not registered. So the reason why I always tell people to caution themselves, like you said correctly, Shana, I tell people, do not fucking cut corners on a lawyer. Get a good lawyer to go to the land records, that when somebody's selling you, 1, make sure they own it. 2, make sure they can sell it. 3, make sure it's clear and free of any encumbrances or any taxes. Don't cut corners on that. I don't care what your lawyer, if my lawyer charged me $1,500, $1,600, I don't give a damn. I want to know that when I purchase it, it's mine, and I'm buying it from somebody that can sell it, because you don't want somebody, because I've heard all the horror stories about people buying land and then come to find out, because Dominican inheritance law is weird. Somebody died, and how the land and the ownership is, you may have gotten 2 or 3 people to sign off on it, but it might have been in the name of 5 people. If you don't get them all 5, the sale is null and void.
Rico,
go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I want to tell Rico about that, because right now that's something my mom is going through. My grandmother passed away during COVID. So now, right now, she has 5 siblings. Only 4 of them have signed. One of my uncles does not want to sign. So until he signs that, they can't
sell it.
Property.
Legally.
Can't sell it.
Yes.
Yeah, here. They cannot do that.
That shit is crazy.
Where's it located?
It's in actually Distrito Nacional, which is in front of it's called Los Jardines del Norte.
Okay.
Really nice area there.
So you got a really nice piece of property. You got 4 out of 5 people that signed off on it, but you didn't get the fifth one, and you think you bought it. They done took your money and gone, and then come to find out later on it's hung up in the courts because you didn't get that fifth person to sign the title to transfer it to your name. And so many people, like me and John was talking earlier, and I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of worried because I hear guys going up in the compo talking about they buying land for $5,000. And you know what they say? If it sounds too good to be true, okay. And then he's like, oh, but I hear it. I'm like, yes, because a lot of times these people are selling you land that they don't have ownership of clear and free. So when you see all of these really, 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 really great deals, I'm not telling nobody not to do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. I am not telling you not to do it.
So the properties have a lien on it, and they're not telling you.
That's it.
But they do exist. They do exist, though.
They do.
Yeah, I believe they exist.
Right. No, they do. They do exist.
Right. Yeah. But don't cut. What I tell you is this: pay the $1,500 to your lawyer.
Yeah.
Period. Because no matter what, you want to know that when I give you the money, it's mine. I do believe they exist. Let me ask you. Just get a lot of them will lower the price so low because people get greedy. We get big. Oh shit! All right, there you go.
Ms. Shania, let me ask you this: I have my money in my pocket. Let's start from scratch. I want to buy one of your properties. What's the first thing? Your one bedrooms are going for what? 190, 100, what is it?
165.
165. I'm sorry, 165. So 165. How much? I have the money. What do I need to do to lock that one bedroom in on the beachfront?
If you have an attorney, you can reach out to my attorney and find out all the information as far as, my business, my title, am I the owner? You go through that process first, And then if you decide that you want to purchase the property, I tell everybody, it's a good idea to do your pre-qualification with the bank in Dominican Republic to find out where you stand. Yes, in DR. Where you stand as far as being approved for a loan. And if they do give you a preliminary approval, then you can do what's called a separation if you want to. It's not required to do a separation, but you can. A lot of times people do a separation, and that process is they do the separation so they can do the due diligence part. But it's not required. I'm not saying you have to do that. I prefer you do your due diligence prior to you doing your separation, so I don't have to worry about having to give you back your money. So for me, if you're serious, then you're going to go through that necessary process to get your pre-qualification done, And then after that, if you decide that you want to purchase the property, then anyone reach out to my attorney. She'll start drawing up the contract, and then they pay their 20% at the time that they actually sign their contract.
So what is the loan that they will be able to give you? Because I hear that it's much different from the United States.
Well, it depends on the bank that you go to. So all banks are different in Dominican Republic. But most of them, if you're a foreigner, they're only going to basically approve you for like 70%. Is generally the max. If you're not a resident, 70% is going to be the max. And they already told me that they're not going to give more than that because I'm in basically like a touristic area. So they give less for a touristic area. I'm so close to the beach that, they're going to consider that a touristic area. And I have to pay the permission for a tourist. I had to go through that process also. So it's a little different when you live close to the beach or in a tourist area. But
let me ask you a question, Shania, because I know like most of the places, not all, like I say, it's a case-by-case basis. Mm-hmm. Most of the places in Punta Cana, like you said, accurately, especially for foreigners, and I would imagine they do the same thing for Dominicans. I don't know. They'll only finance for 50%. So basically, like you said, you have to pay off half up front. Now, there are some places, and it's really different. Like that what they do call owner finance. So
Yes, some people
you're,
do.
you're like basically the owner is the bank. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
extend you the
Mhm.
loan payments and so on and so forth. So you're not doing any owner
I'm
finance.
not. No, I'm not
Okay.
offering
Right.
that.
Which
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm
Right.
not offering owner financing. No.
So you're telling
Maybe
them
in the future, if I'm doing more projects in Dominican Republic, I may offer it. But right now, no.
my 2 cents, I would never do it, but again, that's up to you. Right? Again, I don't trust them. Right? I don't trust them. Right?
And
Somebody that I know, yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah,
yeah, maybe
somebody that I
I
don't know, no.
no, exactly.
let me get to this. Let me get to this super chat real quick. How much does the average flight from New Jersey to the Dominican Republic go back and forth? I don't know, but I know Spirit, John Baptiste. I don't know if Spirit flies from New Jersey,
It
but
depends on it, but
just
it's
depends.
based on the time of the year, though.
Right, it depends
It's
on the
based
time.
on the time because me and Mike, we constantly discussing flights. I can tell you this over the holidays. So I will say the high season of travel to the Caribbean, anywhere in the Caribbean, probably starts around October and it goes to winter months here
Yeah.
in the US and Canada. So October, November, December, January, February, March is the high season. Flights are wildly expensive. During the summer months, flights are cheaper because there are fewer people flying there because we got summertime here in the US.
Mhm.
So June, July, August, it's like you can get $500 round trip. October, after October, you're gonna pay at least $1,200 round trip to $1,500 to $2,000 because the demand for seats is much
Mhm.
higher when it's cold in the
Right.
US and Canada than
Right.
when it's hot. When it's hot, the demand
Yeah.
is low. When it's cold, the demand is high.
Gotcha.
So
All
that's
right,
just the way
all
that
right. Thanks, Rico. Going back to real estate, Miss Shania, since you said something about if you know the person, what if I give you $200? Could you start financing me in one of your properties right now?
No. No, somebody would have to come up with at least 50%.
50. No, but you said if I know the person, you'll do financing for me.
I would do owner financing if I know the person.
she don't know you like that. So
Rico, don't be
Miss
hating.
Shania,
Go ahead.
Miss
Go
Shania,
ahead.
whereabouts Guayacan is? Because I was in Juan Dolio on Friday because my sister-in-law, she lives in Orlando, and they came down and they stayed at a resort close there. So we drove up and we met them in Juan Dolio. How far from that beach in Hemingway is it from?
5 minutes.
5
5
minutes.
minutes? Okay.
Right up the street. Yeah. You actually have to. You'll run
You gotta
into.
pass it. You gotta pass me in order to get
Okay.
can I say one other thing, Shania? And I want to ask you too is do you, with the finance, because I know I always hear these questions that people sit there and talk about it. Now we're gonna get to it. Osobo, Oboso, whatever. We're gonna to y'all crazy comments. So hang on, John, because I want to ask this in particular around the financing because one of the overwhelming reasons why I didn't finance in the DR is the interest rates. The
Yeah.
interest rates are wildly expensive, even if you go through a Dominican bank. Because I know at one point when I was looking, I was like, oh my God, they are crazy. They were talking like 12, 15, 20% interest. And again, it's if you anticipate doing it, it's a high interest rate and it's a much shorter period of time. So in the US, where we're used to 3, 4, 5% over 30 years, that doesn't exist in the DR through even the banking institutions. It's 12, 15%, and they're usually like a long loan is 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's-
Not all banks are
Not all.
that high,
Right.
but like two of the banks that we're using now, they're under 10%. They're like
And then
7 point something to 8. I mean, United States right now, we're high right now.
But how long do they go?
20 years.
Oh, really?
Maximum
Okay. So
20.
if
Maximum 20 years.
I would say this: if you qualify for that, because I do know, like Mario Drago, He told me like, oh yeah, we can get 8 or 9%, 20 years, just that whatever. But I would only say this: it's a very slim percent of y'all that's gonna get that. That is not. The only reason I say this is because in the U.S. that's the norm. We know if I'm going to finance a house, I want 5%. I want 30 years. Almost anybody can get that. I don't want people to get the expectation that you're going to go to Bond Reserve, Popular, Scotia Bank, any of those banks, and they're going to give you that deal. I mean,
No,
maybe you got
I mean
a
they
9%
operate the
score.
same way as USA. To me, they operate the same way.
If you got a 9,
Even if they're offering, like, say, if you go to a bank's website here in the United States, they may say, okay, the rate is 5.25 or what have you. They not even tell you what the APR a lot of times is. But once you get in there, you do your application depending on your credit and some other things pertaining to the property. You may get what we call in the banking industry a ding, which a ding is like, say, okay, well, if you don't purchase a house at $200,000 or more, you're gonna get a half of a point hit. That means your rate is gonna go up a little bit. And then if your credit score isn't a 660 or higher, then you're gonna get another hit. So it's not as cut and dry, you know. It's based on the particular property that you're purchasing, you personally, your credit, what your credit score is. Same in Dominican Republic, it's the same way. It's the same way.
Right, and I agree with you. I only say that because, again, I think when a lot of subscribers listen and call in, they're expecting. So I would say this: the banking industry in the U.S. is far more lenient with American consumers because we're, you know how American banking is. It's all about we want to put more. They want to put more loans on their books because that make we got $50 billion worth of loans because that's credibility. With Dominican, they're not with Dominican banks. What it looks like to me is they're not looking to suffer any losses. They're not looking to take a loss. American banks are okay with taking losses because tax write-off, just so much bullshit in capitalism. You can
I mean, it's a larger country. We can't even compare it. The amount of applications we get here, people finances versus Dominican Republic is very different. And in Dominican Republic, you got to have skin in the game. You know, even with a car purchase, you got to have skin in the game. They want 20% with a purchasing a car. I mean, from what I see.
Right.
Yeah, it's not going in there getting 100% finance for a car. You know, that's the easiest thing you can get. But in Dominican Republic, no, you got to have some cash. And
yes.
Yeah. I got to put that $1,000 down on the moped then.
Yes.
Damn.
Thank you.
Like we got offered Popular, we got 12.5 right now, and we're still looking. You know,
you
it's
guys
still high.
Hey, I'm gonna ask real quick. I want you to comment on that, Junior. But Haitian Gunman asked, "What banks are working with foreigners?" It's a great question.
Most of the banks that I know do. Most of them do. Now I would say Nova Scotia is really catering towards the Northern European. Their clientele, the people coming from Canada, or I'm just gonna say white people, basically. From what I understand. Now, if you're a Dominican resident, I think they're more lenient versus someone coming from United States. To me, is what it looks like.
Hey, JC, we're gonna get back to you, JC Pena, about this comment you made, but I really want Junior. Junior, tell me your process, what you're going through with real estate right now. What's going on with that?
Right now, the biggest thing, like I say, was that increase, which was a big jump. You know, we have a family lawyer, and we had a meeting with the owners or the representatives of the construction company, and they made it seem like it was the US dollar went up, materials went up. Our thinking was if the increase would have been no more than 10%, it would have been 300,000 pesos. but it jumped to 800.
Wow.
So what they did was, because here you get 350,000 pesos towards your first home, but that doesn't go towards the finance. I mean, that's like the down payment. It goes like towards the finance. So what we want doing is splitting it. We put, instead of the down payment, instead of being 900,000 pesos, it was 1,000,000 pesos. And then part of that, they put the rest into installments when we when we make payments on the pretty much on the mortgage, like we would call it, like that.
You're making payments. That's for the down payment.
Yeah, they raised the down payment, which it was supposed to be 900. Now it's 1,000,000 pesos. So they added 100.
Do they allow you? I didn't mean to cut you off, but they allow you to make payments on the down payment.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
just
we
make sure. Cool.
Payments, and then because we separated the apartment with 450,000 pesos, and then you make put your down payment. But like I said, that's the only thing that, and then pretty much the dates they tell you when it's going to be built is another thing that you have to look. You have to expect it. Don't think it's going to be done when they tell you, because it's not.
Right.
We've been waiting 2 years. First they said they were waiting on permits, then this and that. Like I said, we just had a meeting last month. They give us a date for May. It's already April. I pass by there all the time. I see them still working on it. There's a few things that they have to put, but they, like, our building is number 8. They're working on 7 and 8 at the same time.
Gotcha.
So they have to, finish 7 before they could give 8 out. So it's like, but yeah, I can say that's just the only main thing that we're going through is just the wait time that they, once you sign that contract, they could raise the amount, whenever they feel like, so that's something to think about when you are buying an apartment that's from the ground up.
But let me ask you a question though, because I did a ground up build, and I'm glad you point that out, because I would tell people, and I tell them always, again, that's where it goes back to not cutting corners with your lawyer, having a damn good lawyer. Because when I went with my builder, he wrote up and he literally told me X amount of months. So when the contract went to my lawyer, she looked over it and she said, okay, fine. But I want to put in penalties when they don't meet certain timelines.
Exactly.
So you just don't take the contract that they give you. That's why you need good representation and counsel to say, look, this is a good contract if everything goes well. But I've been in this game long enough to know the bullshit that goes on. Yeah. So we're going to put penalties to compel and motivate them to meet these deadlines. I got my shit to the day.
Yeah.
To the day.
You can't. This is not the United States. You might not have.
Excuse me. I got mine in the DR to the day.
Well, I do want to say one thing about your situation. You purchased the house. Purchasing a house and purchasing an apartment is two different. Yeah, it's too different. You don't have to worry about the subdividing of titles and things like that when you have a house. But it's a little more. It's a lot more complicated. It ain't a little. It's a lot more complicated.
And I agree with that. But there were things like, for example, right, even with an apartment, and I was like, there were certain parameters, like, for example, like the increase in building materials.
Yes,
we didn't allow it. Because here was the big difference, right? Here was the significant difference, Shana and Junior. I paid up front.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck about how much prices go up. That's not my problem. That's a you problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a you problem, because I gave you my fucking money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you're in a better position that everybody's not in that position.
The thing is, I'm trying to tell people. And you're right. And that's what I'm saying now. I'm like, now, if you're in that position, most Americans, or then I say most, I tell people, if you don't have to finance, if you can get equity from the states and take that money and purchase, I'm trying to tell them how to leverage it to their benefit. To say, have a contract ironclad written. I'm not paying for no cost overruns. I'm not paying for no delay. Because I'm going when I went to the builder, I say, you tell me how long it takes. You tell me. Now, if you cut it short, then you better meet it. If you want to make it longer, I'll accept that. But you better meet it. Because I didn't set the timeline. I didn't set the cost. I didn't set the price. I'm going to accept all of this. But then I'm going to lock your ass into it. And you're not going to come to me later on and tell me prices went up 30%. Why are you talking to me?
Right.
Because I paid you what you told me.
Right.
And I understand that because businesses, I'm like, you're in the business. I'm a buyer. So all I'm saying is I try to tell people, if you're going to come now, if you're making payments, then you got to take the L's.
Right.
But if I'm spending and I'm paying up front, I'm not taking no L's.
Right.
I'm not. I am
that's the big difference.
Rick James.
Yeah, I mean,
for the super chat.
I can only speak on this side because I'm on the seller side. I wouldn't accept your contract. I wouldn't accept your contract. They do that here also.
But the DRC.
I get what you're saying. I get it. But if you're not in the shoes of a builder, and if you don't know all the little different details of all the things that happen all in the background that are beyond your control.
Cuss him out.
No, I'm not cussing him out, but he's speaking from a buyer's perspective. I'm speaking from a seller's perspective. Well, I purchased in Dominican Republic and I'm building. So I'm speaking from two perspectives.
Right. So when you purchase, you purchase from a buyer perspective.
A buyer perspective. I'm talking to you as a seller and a builder because I'm building. Okay. It's a lot of different. There are just things that happen that are just totally beyond your control. Yes. Even with the title, like he's saying, he's having a hard time with the title. It takes a lot of time. It has nothing to do with you as the builder. It's nothing to do with you. Even here in the United States, when materials go up, the contracts go up too. Those people are not locked in. So, and now here in the United States, the builders are asking for more money down as a down payment. And if you're unable to complete your contract, I'm talking here in the States, then they're taking your $30,000. So things are changing. It's not as cut and dry as it used to be. It's on the new construction side. I'm talking new construction.
Yes.
It's a little more complicated. Yeah, it's more complicated.
And I absolutely did new construction.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. But it would be malpractice for me not to tell a buyer to leverage their position in a buyer's market the same way that sellers leverage their position.
It's a negotiation. It's a negotiation, but that doesn't mean they're going to agree to it.
Seller's market, right? And there's reduced inventory. They raise the prices because they know that the demand. So they don't give a damn even though I offer them a fair price. No, they're going to take the highest bidder. And they don't care if I gave them a fair price. They don't Rico, get the fuck out of here. Your bid wasn't high enough. We're going to take the next. So that's what I said. So when it's a buyer's market, you should leverage your position. In addition to me leveraging my position in the buyer's market, it was the fucking pandemic. I purchased in the middle of the pandemic. Right. You as a seller, not you, Shania, but any seller, you ain't going to tell me nothing. Because y'all ain't moving no inventory.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, that's different.
And then I leveraged that. I would have been stupid not to leverage it.
Well, there's nothing wrong with asking, but just understand everyone is not going to agree. You're with a really large, sounds like you're with a really large builder. I'm not a big builder.
Mm.
So for me, my
That was a
hit
big
is
builder.
different from a hit from a builder that's a very large builder. You know what I'm saying?
And
So
and and
it's
and, and,
different.
and, the,
Yeah.
and the big builder, he was able to. But basically, what I told
Yeah.
everybody, I was like, okay, he sold me my house and he didn't make no money. He had to make it off of other people. Now, I did send him other clients who he built for after the pandemic. So I was like, get your money off of them. You ain't getting it off of me. And he has a development that's like 200 homes. I was like, okay, fuck it. You're not getting it off of me. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Because you locked him in.
Yes.
Hey, Rick James says, how do you find a good lawyer or a good contractor?
That's hard. I don't know about contract. I didn't find a contractor. I found a good lawyer and a good realtor. And I will be honest with you, it's not easy. It's
No,
not
that's crazy.
easy. So I'm not telling anybody. I did put, I first put my trust in a realtor. I reached out to a realtor. So I had visited the country, but I hadn't thought about buying real estate. So I first put my trust in a realtor. It's I am not I'm no fucking genius. I call it blind stupid luck.
Oh yeah, that's
It
what I call it
worked
too.
out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Rico,
You were
I'm the same
lucky.
way.
You were lucky. I
I
wouldn't
looked
put
at
my trust in a realtor in Dominican Republic.
No, I'm saying it's fine. Finding a property
Yeah, yeah.
because I didn't know where to look. Because here's the thing tonight, right? When I look,
Mhm,
I had been looking online, right,
mhm,
and I had found 3 places I was interested in.
mhm,
Where I bought was none of the 3 places I looked. My realtor showed us some additional properties that I had
mhm,
no idea about. That's
mhm.
what I was sitting there saying. But
Yeah.
it's imagine like you have you ever been to Japan?
No.
Okay, now you want to buy a house in Japan. How do you go about doing it? And you never been
Mhm.
there, or it's like there's a
I
and
get it.
this is
I
where I'm
mean, I
on
get
your
what
side.
you're saying.
I don't know what to do.
It's just different dealing with the realtors in Dominican Republic
Yeah,
versus what we're accustomed to.
I
You
agree.
got a good realtor.
I got
But
lucky. I
yeah,
got lucky and
exactly.
blessed.
You got
I
very
got
lucky.
lucky and blessed.
Um,
I got lucky and blessed, and I promote her to anybody. She
yeah,
is
exactly.
a
So if
good,
you have a good realtor, then yeah,
reputable realtor. She is
definitely.
a good, and I do know a couple of good, reputable realtors that I would be happy to give their names out. But I got lucky and blessed. I could have ended up with somebody that would have been trash, but I got lucky and I got blessed. And I tell everybody, I'm not a genius. I'm a fucking idiot. I got lucky and I got blessed.
Mhm.
And I'm willing to share that realtor's name who didn't fight with the developer. She just showed me properties that were trustworthy. And
Yeah, I
that's
got
what we
you.
want.
But I do want to say something about the market that you're in. That's Punta Cana. It's catered towards uh, international people coming in. That's a totally different market than say you go to Santo Domingo or some of the other different areas in Dominican Republic. It's totally different. That real estate market is totally different from any other area in Dominican Republic. So for someone to compare, I'm just saying, in that area, you may find multiple good real estate agents that are, you
Legit,
know what I'm saying?
legit,
You know what
legit.
I
Oh, I
Right.
agree
mean?
with
In
you.
that
I
yeah.
agree.
area because their
Yeah.
clientele is Americans, Canadians, people that come from different countries. So they got to be on the up
European.
and up.
Yes.
They got to be
Yes.
on the up and up. They got to
Mhm.
have their stuff together. You know what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
So you come to another area of the country, it's not going to be as laid out like it
Right.
is here. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because that market is tailored kind of like it is in United States.
Yeah.
Whereas in some of the other
Yes.
areas, it's just not that way.
Hey,
Yes.
Yeah,
Junior,
Thank
yeah.
you. You're
Junior,
a
you have a
thousand percent
realtor
right.
or no?
Yeah,
You ain't got.
I have a. It's actually we both have the same name. It's funny. I found him actually on Facebook. I seen he
Okay.
posted, the apartment that we currently have. First, I looked at the apartments that they had, the company, and then I told him, I want to, we want to go see apartments that they have. Um, so he showed us, even him himself, like he told me, like this apartment is in this area, but it's not me. He told me, me personally, I wouldn't live there. So he looks out because he tells you
Right.
him personally, he wouldn't move there. If it was someone else, they'll tell you, oh, that's a great area, just to sell the apartment.
Right.
But he from the minute I met him, I'm a good, like I could read people pretty good, and I felt like he was genuine until this point. He has been, even when we went and had the meetings with the owners about the raise and stuff. He was there because he felt like it wasn't fair. Another thing is, until we finish pretty much paying the down payment and everything, he wasn't going to get his commission. So he
Gotcha.
went to all the meetings, everything. Like, he doesn't work for them, he works for himself.
I got you.
So that's one thing that I liked about him. He was very honest. He was very helpful with everything. So,
How far, are you in the compost area?
huh?
Are you in the compost? Are you in the country? Or are you like
No. We're where Mixer is, right?
Mixer.
Yeah, the club. It's on Avenida España.
So is that
No.
it's around the corner from Paris? It's
Do
around
you
the
know
corner
where
from Paris.
the aquarium is?
Malacones.
Yeah, I know where the aquarium is. Yeah.
I live on the other side of the aquarium at this time.
Oh, okay. That's nice. That's a nice
Yeah,
area.
but where I'm going to move to is not that far from the aquarium. It's called
Very good.
Sanchez Abelita.
Okay. Yeah. I would love to check that area out one day. Maybe we can link up. I want to look at it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll give you a number. Also, I don't like to sell myself, but I also do photography. I've been doing it for 8 years, and I do.
So hey, when me and Domingo get married, shoot, you can maybe be our photographer.
Hey,
So
like I said, I'm a man of many talents. I do different things. You have to hear the. You can't have one. My wife and I also have a blood bank here.
Oh, awesome! That's awesome.
I know.
Well, that's interesting. A blood bank?
Yes. Here, you have to buy blood when you get a surgery, when you give birth.
Oh, wow.
I know.
So,
And family members have to, or family members or somebody, before you can get the blood, somebody got to donate blood. Yeah. You die on the table before you get your blood.
That's how it is here.
People dying. Oh yeah. Oh, I know about it because my husband's father had a heart surgery, and they had like 5 or 6 people going to give blood before he can even get the blood. Oh yeah, it was tripped out.
Because people here, they don't really donate. It's hard to donate anything here. Organs, blood.
Yeah, they need to do like what we do.
Yeah,
we have donations. People volunteer to do it.
Yeah, so
they have so many. They have so many deaths here. That's one thing I saw.
Senseless deaths. Senseless.
Oh yeah.
Stuff that could be prevented. Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I talk to a lot of people here.
We saw somebody in the street. Go ahead.
I talk to a lot of people to donate because my cousin, I had a kidney transplant 15 years ago. So I know what it is to, have someone donate to you and give you a second chance at life.
Right.
And I try to tell that to people because a lot of the patients that come get blood is for dialysis. I went through that too, 10 years of my life. So I encourage them, try to donate. You're helping a person, but people here are so, I want to say, ignorant when it comes to that. They feel like, oh, no, they'd rather just give it to the.
Say ignorant because that's true. That's the actual word. People, and again, ignorant. When you call a person ignorant, it's not the same as calling a person dumb.
No.
Right.
Because if you call a person dumb, they know and they don't choose to listen. If you call a person ignorant, it means they don't know.
Yeah.
That's the definition of ignorant. And I'll say this, I'll go a little bit further because I watched this stream where, and I swear to God, it chaps my ass. It drives me crazy. Where a person has labeled Dominicans as nationalists. And I have heard so many Dominicans lean into it like it's a term to be proud of.
Well, I kind of agree.
Huh?
Go ahead,
I
Mr. Knack.
kind of agree.
You agree with them being a nationalist?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm listening.
Yes. Okay. And
What?
I'm a follower of Taylor. Okay.
Okay.
He was like the first person that I follow. And I'm not saying I agree because I like him.
Mhm.
I mean, we have a lot of commonalities amongst ourselves. We're a veteran. We was in the Navy. He
Me
worked at
too.
the VA. So you know what I'm saying? I can resonate with him because I feel like he's like, my brother or whatever.
Okay.
But I think the reason why I feel that way
Hmm.
is say for instance, you come to United States, you're Dominican, you're Puerto Rican, you have a residency status or citizen status, you commit a crime, no matter what happens, it's whoever did something wrong or something illegal. We're gonna charge you based on what you did versus who you are as a person. Whereas in Dominican Republic, it's the opposite. It's based on your nationality. So I can get in an accident right now. It's not my fault. Okay. I hit somebody in Dominican Republic. But because I'm the American, I'm automatically gonna be charged as if I was in the wrong, even though I'm not in the wrong. And I gotta go to court and I gotta pay $5,000, $10,000 even with a lawyer to get out of what happened. Even as a fender bender, I'm gonna be charged more money because of who I am and what my nationality is versus the Dominican. So that's how I'm looking at how they say a national. So that's why I kind of agree
Okay.
with what they're saying.
Okay. And all right. So now let me
Oh,
give,
you,
give me a
nah,
give
you,
me a
you
minute to absorb
nah, nah,
that.
see,
No,
They're
no,
they're
no,
bi- they're biased towards them being Dominican versus you
no.
being American.
right.
No matter what case it is,
The
it
way,
doesn't
No,
the
matter.
way,
because
the way you broke it down, Rico's so confused he don't even have no comeback for that.
no, I'm
That's
not
good. Good
confused at
job,
all.
listener.
I'm confused about what I consider the way you guys receive the term. Okay, because when I sit there and I think of nationalism, and I'm sure Dr. Black won't jump in, this, that, whatever. I know historically the term nationalist is not a positive term. It is just not a positive term. So when we think of nationalists, we think of neo Nazis, we think of skinheads, we think of the KKK. Okay, I mean, anybody tell me where have you ever seen the term nationalist in a positive way? Nationalism is born out of patriotism. You a veteran, I'm a veteran, Taylor's a veteran. We're patriots.
I understand what you're
Right.
saying.
So right, and that's what I'm saying. Nationalism is patriotism on steroids because by definition, natural when you're a patriot, you love your country.
Hmm.
You love your country, you
Hmm.
protect your country, you want the best for your country. But you don't have anything against any other countries. Nationalists, their ideology revolves around being I love my country and fuck all others.
Well, basically, that's the same thing I'm saying.
Right,
It's
right, right.
like
I'm not
if I
disagreeing
get
with
in
you.
an accident, fuck me, how it feels, what happens to
Listen,
me, it's
listen,
fuck
right.
me.
But listen,
They're basing it off of I'm American, not that I didn't crash into this person. They actually crashed into me.
but you're
So
not.
it's
Junior,
like,
Junior, she got him. She
fuck
got him,
saying
Junior.
Okay, no, you doesn't have me. You don't
that.
have me. This is where I'm trying to walk
I
it.
get your point, but
Can I
I'm just
finish?
saying when I have to pay out of pocket and this Dominican just crashed me, he's catering toward them being a Dominican.
The problem with nationalism is this. If I'm a Dominican nationalist,
Hmm.
forget the accident. I'm saying everything the DR, fuck every other country. I'm forget the accident you being in my country. I'm saying everything DR, fuck all other countries. If I'm being a patriot,
That is the way they work.
right, but here's the difference. The difference is, let me finish. Because again, you can love your country and not hate other countries.
I get it.
Nationalists nationalists love their country and hate other countries. Any country that's not like me, I despise.
Okay, is that
So
not the situation with Haiti and Dominican Republic?
no, I do not think that's just that way.
Well, I,
I
beg,
think
I beg to differ on that one. I'm
right.
sorry.
This is what I say is this.
They hate Haiti, okay?
Here's the point. What I'm saying is, if that is the case between the two of them, it's not right.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right.
So when I say that, like, I don't think most Dominicans don't see themselves as hating Haitians. Because every time you bring it up, they say, oh, no, we don't hate Haitians. So you're not a nationalist. You're a patriot. You love your country and you don't care about anybody else. You just love your own. So you're not a nationalist. You're a patriot.
Thanks, Rick, for the super chat, brother.
That's all I'm saying. But if you're saying I'm a nationalist, I love my country and fuck the other ones. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, that's the way you feel. That's the way you feel. I don't.
We can all look at the definition and go from there.
Let's read. Nationalism. Dr. HP says, founder of a Black Studies described nationalism as a nation or a group of people who share an idea of cultural framework, including what's that?
Ancestry
belief.
That's also a patriot.
That's how they are. Ancestral belief.
So what's the difference between a patriot and a nationalist? Dr.
Look,
Black, give me the difference.
I'm not here to debate with you. I'm not here to debate with you. I get what you're saying. I do. I'm just saying we're gonna agree to disagree because I feel it when I go. Maybe you don't feel it, but I feel it. Okay, as such, and other people feel it the same way. I get what you're saying about the definition and all of that, but you're not looked the same when you come to Dominican Republic.
I agree with that.
You're not looked the same way. You're a gringo, okay? You're a gringo.
What I'm literally saying is that I agree with you 100%, but what I'm saying is, and I'm going to say this crystal clear, a lot of Dominicans are some of the most. Let me catch myself. Let me catch myself.
Be careful.
The level of ignorance is mind blowing.
It's because of the education.
Because they feel that way,
yeah, that's true. You're
doesn't make it correct.
Exactly, I agree. I'm not saying I agree.
So if we're okay with the nationalism, then you're okay with the fucking racism. Be okay with that.
I'm not okay with it. I'm Black.
It's the same thing.
Okay, maybe you feel that way, but I mean, I don't.
All I'm saying is, if you're okay with the nationalism, be okay with the racism.
You know, he's trying to put them together.
I'm not. To me, they're totally separate. They're totally separate.
If it's okay for them to be ignorant about one thing, it's okay for them to be ignorant about another thing, because it's all ignorance. It's all lack of education.
There's a lot of it's not just there. It's here. Do we have?
I agree.
All right. So let's move on. Rick James says nationalist has nothing to do with hate. Rico's shaking his head over there, but yeah.
Because he don't know what the hell he's talking about, but go ahead.
Look, I mean, I didn't say they hate you. I am not saying that they hate Americans. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm not saying
they are biased. If you want me to use that term,
yeah.
I'm not saying. I understand why he used the word national. I gave you the example why I feel like he used that term. I'm not saying I agree with using that term, but they are biased. I mean, we have biases here. It's the same, but it's different in law.
Right.
I mean, for them, it's on all levels. Not just law. It's all
can I be clear? I'm saying tailor-made is equally as fucking ignorant and dumb, and he's using the word incorrectly.
Okay, I'm not
He
gonna
is.
say he's dumb and
I
he's
will say it.
ignorant.
I will say it.
I mean,
I will say it. He's
Hey,
maybe
Junior.
ignorant
you
and he
don't
doesn't know
like
how to use
the
them.
words. Maybe you don't like the words. I'm not gonna say he's ignorant, dumb. I don't like calling people names, but I understand why he said it. I'm not saying I agree totally, but I get his point. Okay. Maybe, I mean, for you, he should have used another word, but I get what he's saying.
Hey,
Yeah,
Junior. What
I get
what
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 he's
do you feel? You're Dominican, right? You yeah.
Well,
Is your mom Dominican or your dad?
both.
Both. Okay.
I left
Okay.
here. I left here when I was 8 years old.
Hmm.
So I
Okay.
spent
Gotcha.
most of my life in the United States.
So you were born in the DR.
Yeah, I was born here.
So do you know Spanish? Do you know Spanish fluently?
Yeah, I I want to say I do and I don't, kind of.
No.
Like, all right. So the Spanish I learned in my house is different from what I hear in the streets here. I hear
saying.
when my wife is talking to me, so it's kind of like it's a little different,
Mhm.
So like,
Now, is your wife Dominican or American?
no, she's Dominican.
Mhm.
Okay,
She's
she's
from the
Dominican.
campo, but she came
Oh,
Okay,
here. She came to the capital when she was 16 to go to school, and she stayed here.
okay.
So
gotcha. So what made you marry a Dominican woman instead of a American woman?
actually, I was married to an American woman also.
Oh, okay, all right, good.
Both of my
Okay,
older kids are Irish and German.
okay, cool. Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
so
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome. So what made you say, okay, wow, this did you guys connect? I mean, I'm not trying to get in your business, but what made you move from
Um,
American woman to a Dominican woman?
I guess since I came here, I had no other choice but to date a Dominican woman. I've did even in the States. I guess how can I put this and not put this in the wrong? I've
I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
I don't mix well with Dominican women. Tell you the truth,
Dominican women?
because
Why? Why is that?
yes,
Hmm?
I guess
Dominican,
they're
but you married
different.
to a
They
you married to
were
a Dominican
they
woman.
Puerto Rican and Dominican women they have this thing about them, like they're very,
They're tough,
I don't
tough to
know,
deal with.
Let the man
tough.
answer
Yeah,
the
it's
question.
it's yeah, it's tough. So I guess, like I said, I
But
don't
you're
like to
married.
compare.
Let him answer, John.
Go
I
ahead.
don't like to compare women in general. Because we all have, just like men, we all have different beliefs and different, how we see things and stuff. But American women, they fight less.
Mm,
They don't.
Thank
Dominican
God.
women are very
Oh,
controlling.
thank God.
really?
Very very controlling. Very, you know.
And listen, Junior. On the other side, you hear a lot of people say that American women are very
Exactly.
controlling.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was young. The first time I got married, I was 19 years old.
Right?
So I
Yeah,
guess it
yeah.
was different. You know.
Right, right.
We have similarities, but I think for most part they're more jealous
Dominican
than
women, yeah.
they're
Yeah.
more jealous and
And Puerto Rican.
possessive.
Yeah, very
Like,
possessive.
yeah, very possessive. And I think that's a culture thing.
Mhm.
I think that's a culture thing,
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
I
it
mean,
is.
they just look, they be on
God. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
Do you
there's a big
I
culture
think there's
difference
a
though.
reason why. I think there's a reason why. There's a lot of competition, and the women, a majority of the women there, they need their man.
Yeah,
They
because
need their man for financial aspects.
right?
Whereas American woman, if I'm working and I have my own job, and I can pay all my bills. Okay, you say you go, okay, get the stepping in. You know what I'm saying? I got a different attitude. Look,
exactly.
oh, A B, I'm gonna say the B word got a different attitude when she got some money. You know what I'm saying? You be like, deuces, then deuces. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if I need, I'm gonna be pulling tooth and nail to keep you and to trying to see where you at. Hey, where you at? Where you at? Because that's their bread and butter.
And
so there's a difference there.
Right.
Yeah, that's my bread and butter. Some other chick come up and take my man. I ain't got nowhere to stay. I ain't got no food on the table. You follow what I'm saying? So it's different.
Yeah. Even just culture wise, being raised in the States and then being with someone that their culture here is different.
You know? Oh yeah.
It's been tough. I'll tell you that. It's definitely been tough, but like I said, when you commit to something, especially in marriage, you know, it's you have to pick your battles and like.
Let me ask you a question, Junior. Do you see Dominicans in the U.S. and Dominicans in the DR as the same? Now that you've seen both.
No.
Okay.
I would definitely say Dominicans in the States.
Let me ask you, men and women. I want you to give me the breakdown. Because
men
sit there. People like to pretend they're the fucking same, and I tell them that's bullshit.
They're not the same.
Yeah, I
want to say
they might as well be from another country.
No, they're not the same.
Like I'll be totally honest with you. I didn't hang out with a lot of Dominicans when I lived in the States because a lot of them are jealous. You buy a Mercedes, they want a Mercedes. You get a bodega, they want a bodega. So it's like that competition. Here, I don't see that here because I guess what I see here is, wow, if he made it, I'm gonna try to make it. But over there, it's like a competition. Not as like I'm gonna help you make it. No, I'm gonna pull you down so I can make it. That's, like I said, I guess, and that's why I really didn't have a lot of Dominican friends because I don't like that competition between me and my friend or I'm buying this and then you will have to buy the same thing type of situation.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that because people like to sit there and, I'm like, no, they're not the same when they're in America. So
no, they're not.
A Mexican and a Mexican American is two different people.
And they change.
No, it's been changed.
They're not
so did you get to the airport?
Dominican change when they go out there. Their mindset is different. You know, like I guess it's different when you're raised there than when you come as older.
And I want to ask you another question now that you're back. Now, I know you wouldn't be able to understand because the first time when you went to the US, you were young. But now that you're back, because another trope or bullshit that they say in the space, because I call all them raggedy motherfuckers out, all of them. They like to say when they over there whoremongering, whether it's Thailand, Brazil, DR, whatever. Oh, they all don't want to go to the US. They all don't want to go to the US. What do you say, Junior?
Everybody wants to go to the US.
Thank you. Mic drop. I'm done. Fuck the bullshit. Because again, they always push this bullshit. And I'm not saying that the US is the fucking best. I'm not. But they're my problem is they're pushing the ideology to make young men think, oh, just come over here, go overseas. They love you. Just like, no. And I don't blame them. I literally am saying I do not blame them. If I was in fucking Africa starving, I want to go to the US. I want to go to England. Fuck this shit. But they paint this narrative like, and this is, I'll tell you both. This is one thing that I've always got mad at, even my brother John. And he used to say it all the time. And I'm like, every time he said it to me, I fucking feel a certain kind of way. He'd be like, but Rico, they happy. And I would look at him and I would like cut that motherfucker through his soul. I was like, I've never met a fucking person that was poor, living in poverty, that was happy.
Wait, Rico.
I don't agree with that. I don't necessarily agree with that one.
I'm going to tell you something, right?
I want you to agree with me, but I want to explain why I said what I said.
Junior, go ahead, Junior. When
I lived in the States, all right, you know, had an apartment, had a car, had everything. I worked 70, 80 hours a week. Stressful life. I come back here, the time I was living by myself. I felt personally, like my own personal experience, I felt more at peace
here,
having less
then there, having more.
than having more out there. Why? Because I was comfortable, living in a room or just having, just the necessary things to live.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, like I say, I'm talking about personal. Everybody's different, but me myself experiencing that, I'm like, wow, like if I could live like this and be peaceful, I'm okay with it.
Well, can I ask you a question though, Junior?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you've had the U.S. experience. You didn't ask to go back to the DR. You were deported back.
Correct.
Because if you wasn't, your ass would still be in the
Oh
U.S.
no, of course, granted.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay, so
That's all I know. That's all I know.
So let's go with the facts, right? Okay, so that's cool. And again, you had a higher standard of living in the U.S. than you do here. Now, what I'm sitting there saying is, while you may be happier, or I'm not even, and this is where I get stuck up on the word happy, because I always tell people, like, you can be poor and be content, not happy. You can be content. To be content is like, hey, this is all I know. I'm not complaining.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. That's all over the world. But that's not happy. When people put the word happy on them, when I always tell people from the Western world, you put the word happy on them because you're trying to excuse yourself. They don't have shit and they're happy with not having shit. Would you be happy with not having anything? That's what I always ask them. Would you change places with them? And 99.9% of the time they say no.
No, but if you've never had it, it's different. There's a difference if I don't have that life experience.
Yes. So you're content.
Yeah. Like
that's it.
Exactly. But I'm not saying even rich people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there have been times in my life where I've been depressed for this, that. I have everything that I want, but that doesn't mean I'm happy.
No.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, I agree.
Money doesn't always bring happiness. It gives you access to do other things, but it doesn't necessarily make me happy.
But this is what I'm saying.
I'm with you. I got your point. I get what your point. But I'm saying if you've never had it.
Yes. But when I'm saying
you don't know what it's like to have. If you've never had it, you don't know what it's like to live the life where I can go to a restaurant when I want to, go to a vacation when I want to. If all I'm doing is I'm just in the barrio hanging out, going to the Comado, drinking my beer. I got my family, my kids, my mom, my dad, everybody around, all my family, all in the neighborhood. I'm good.
What I'm saying is this should not forget that. I'm talking about even when I tell Coach, when you're talking to somebody that's dealing with food insecurity, meaning like I ate today, I don't know if I'm going to eat tomorrow.
I get you.
Or they're living with housing insecurity. Don't look at people like that and say, oh, they're not complaining, they're happy. No, they're not complaining because they know
they're just content.
So they're surviving.
Just living. Yeah, they're just living. Yeah. Exactly.
Happiness. That's what I find to be offensive. I'm like, I will never look at people who are surviving and say they're happy. They're surviving.
But that happens here. That happens right here in the United States.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. Yeah,
anywhere.
It happens everywhere.
So
I mean,
walk past a homeless person on the street. Oh, he's happy. No, he's not fucking happy.
He's not happy. No, he's not happy. Yeah.
That's all.
But I have even been to Haiti where I stayed with a lady for like a week, and the next door neighbor, he had like what you would call like a storage unit. His house was like a storage unit, and there was no bathroom in there. There was no kitchen in there. They were just sleeping on the floor. It was just a little hut that they were sleeping on the beach. Every day he would go out in the morning, catch his fish, and come back. He come over joking and laughing with us every day. He was content. Okay.
Yes.
But he was content. I'm not saying he was just happy about his life or where it was going. But in those moments, he was happy. So you can have happiness and be broke and poor.
Yeah, but my thing is, I think that when we use the term happy, and we know how we use it, because we know how we use it to people that are privileged. Privileged people, we
Yeah,
use happy a different way. I'm like,
yeah, I understand what you're
don't
saying.
put that on them. And I just want all of us, myself included. I always think about like, stop calling them happy. They're content. They don't complain. I wish I had the courage and the contentment that they had, but I just
I
want
would say,
everybody for the same
they are in generally happier
content.
than we are, as far
Well,
as
yeah, I,
how
I
they live,
I agree with you, Miss Shania, because
how they live, how they're free. They're not bombarded with the bills and the this and the that,
That,
and like we
yeah,
are.
I
They're not
agree.
right,
bombarded with
I
all of
agree.
those things and working 40 hours. Like the women not
Yes,
working 40 hours. They good. You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying?
But
If I
but
can kick my heels up and not work, okay, I'll be happy.
but I
You know what
agree.
I'm
right.
saying? But
But
here in the United States, you have to work. It's
my
not
thing,
about unless you got a millionaire husband. You know what I'm saying?
yes, I agree.
But I would say in that dynamic, with the woman being at home, not working, taking care of the husband, all the things that he needs, and the children, that situation brings about more happiness in the home. I'm saying. I'm
But
not saying that they're happy about every aspect, but I think they are happier than we are in
I,
some aspects. Yeah.
I always ask this though:
Interesting.
when we use that word, what are we using it for? Are we
Among
using it because we're conveying because first of all, if I look at you and I'm like, oh, Shanae, she's sitting there, Shania, she's sitting there, she homeless, she on the street, she looks happy. I, I'm conveying, and what I'm doing is you could be miserable as hell. When I say that, I'm making myself, I'm creating a comfort zone so I don't have to feel guilty about you. Because when we look at people that's poor and we say they're not complaining, they're happy, we don't know if they're happy. We ain't asked them.
Okay,
We don't
let me ask
care.
you this.
We don't know.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked or experienced being in poor areas in Dominican Republic? Have you ever
Yes.
been there before?
Yes.
Have you
Yes, I
ever
have.
walked in the barrio? You
Yes,
understand what
I
a
have.
barrio is?
Yes, I
It's
have.
like the favela. Have you
Yes,
ever
I have.
walked through there, sat down, and
Yes,
drank
I
beer with
have.
these people
Yes,
and
I have.
talked to them?
Yes, I have. I've done
Well,
all that.
They not they good. I'm telling
No,
you,
no, no, no.
they
Because
good.
I've been in areas in Punta Cana with poor Haitians washing their ass outdoors, and they are not as good as people will. And that's my problem. Is I hear people say these things, and I'm like, why am I talking to people that's saying we are content, we are okay, but I don't hear the word happy.
I'm not saying that they're happy about every aspect of their life. No, I'm not. I mean, I don't know anybody that is. Okay, I don't know not one person that's content and happy about everything that goes on in their life. Even with me having a great job or whatever or somebody being rich. There's no person that's happy and just totally content about every aspect of their body, their life, whether it's their relationship, where they live, where they work, how much money that nobody is 100% happy and content about everything that goes on in life.
Mhm.
There's always something that I want to improve, okay?
I agree.
Or maybe I want to be in a bigger house, or I want to have this car, that
I
car,
agree.
whatever. So, what makes you happy may not make me happy.
I agree.
What makes this person happy may not make that person happy.
I
But
agree.
I'm saying, as far as how the culture is, they have a more of a freer lifestyle than we. And that's what I say. That's why they were rated as one of the happiest countries. Rated very high, very high on the list as being one of the happiest countries to
So,
live in.
so my only question is this: is again, I agree with everything you said. So why are we projecting happiness on people who have not declared. So it would be wrong for me to project Shania is happy if Shania didn't say that.
Well, I'm not saying that about
I'm just,
everybody. I'm just saying that about people that I know and that I see. I
right.
mean,
Which
they
I
all
agree.
want to make improvements. I think everybody wants to make an improvement in their life.
Which is what
Everybody wants a better job that's able to,
which
do
is what
more
I agree
things.
with. But
Yeah.
even if we look at the comment again, everybody is Rick James. I think they are happy. We're always doing this. See what I'm saying?
Can I say this? Can I say this?
We think they're happy with less. Why do we? All I'm saying is that for us, we need to stop projecting happiness on people who have substantially less than us, and there's no evidence that they're happier. We do this.
Yeah, there is evidence of that.
What evidence?
It's in how they live their life. They are generally happier than we are. Yes, they are.
What? What's the evidence?
Can I speak? Can I speak?
Yeah, you can. You spend more time in Dominican Republic. I can only speak about when I'm there.
So I've spent more time with poor people in the Dominican Republic than anybody I know from when I moved there. They have beans and rice, and everybody get a small piece of chicken, and they're happy, and they're at peace, and they don't have any stress. So I don't know what Rico's talking about when he's talking about happiness, because I see real happiness in those people. Yeah, Papa. Yeah, espérate. I see real happiness in those people. I don't see fake. I see a lot of fake in Americans, and I see fake in Punta Cana and stuff like that. But these people are happy. They're happy to get a brand new baseball. They're happy to get a new glove. They're a new shoes. They're happy to sit down and split a presidente, and everybody put their money together, and they are happy to play music, and it's really, you can see it coming through and out. It's no phoniness. So
yeah, it's not. It's genuine.
I see happiness. I see happy. It makes me happy. So if I was depressed and sad, and I was around the rest, I wouldn't be around them doggone people. It don't matter if they were poor or rich. But I feel so good, not because they're getting money from me, because they chip in and stuff like that. And they say, no, your money is good. Your money's not good, Coach John. Don't worry about it. So
that's right.
And so the happiness is real. And that's why the Dominican Republic is number one on the list, because they really have genuine happiness. Now, let me say this. When they watch YouTube and they start watching TV, and these kids start watching this stuff, they start feeling like, oh, because even with Darlene and these other girls and boys and teen girls that I hang around and I talk to, whatever, and they're looking at their phone, and they be like, yeah, man, I wish I was lucky like this person. I wish I had an iPhone.
I'm confused. I'm confused. You just said they were happy with having nothing. I'm confused.
They are. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but they are.
I'm confused. If they're happy with having nothing, why are they looking on their phones being depressed? I'm confused.
The same reason Americans do.
I'm confused.
I mean, we do it here. We do it here. We desire to have things that we can't have. It's the same thing.
But you guys just told me they're happy with nothing, so they should not be disappointed with seeing people having things they don't have. You guys are fucking confusing me.
Well, you can say
no. This is your word. I'm listening.
Miss Shania just told you.
I just gave you an example.
American kids do the same.
We do the same thing. We do the same thing. I want Beyonce's house. I want her house. I don't want a husband, but I want her house.
We're not talking about American kids, because we know American kids are not happy.
But the science is the same. It doesn't matter.
if we're talking specifically about Dominican children that you or Dominican people that you guys said are happy being poor, Americans are not happy being poor. They're miserable being poor. Okay, so Americans, take them out of it. We're strictly staying on the DR. If Dominican people are okay with not having anything and they're happy with not having anything, they shouldn't be looking on their phones saying, I don't have that and I'm unhappy. Make up your fucking mind.
That's normal for all people. That's not an isolated situation. That happens everywhere. All people do that.
Right. Let me say this. The only difference is they want an Android phone here in the Dominican Republic, and Americans, they want a go-kart. They want a $5,400
So if they don't have an Android phone, they're unhappy.
I'm not saying that they have, but they just desire to have something better.
Coach said an Android phone. So if they don't have an Android phone, they're unhappy.
No, that's not what he's saying. He's not saying they're unhappy. No, they desire
an Android phone. He brought up the Android phone. Are they happy with an Android phone, or are they happy without an Android phone?
They want an Android phone.
I just think you're just being too technical.
No, this is what he said.
I understand, but how you're looking at it, you're being too technical.
No, I'm telling you, people that are living in poverty are not happy. They're content and they're satisfied because they accept their condition.
I'm not saying that that's not true. Okay, I agree with you, but you still can have happiness in that.
Can I finish? What I'm literally saying is that people who have more than people who have less, we project, meaning we say, I have it, you don't, you're happy without it, although I have it. And that's a negative thing that we should not be doing. So America, if we look at it as a country perspective, America as a country exploit poor countries. We take shit and resources from poor countries, and we look at poor countries and tell them they're happy with us taking their shit, and they should be content not having it, even though those countries are not happy about it.
But Rico, it's not just what we're saying. Dominican Republic is number one, the happiest country out of all countries in the universe.
That's not true.
It's been rated this year. It's been rated this year.
Yeah, you know
so it may not be true to you.
No, it's not true.
It's not based upon how you think always.
Hey, Junior.
Okay, Shana, real quick. Can you show me the source material where you got that information?
No, I cannot at this time. So, I will come back and I will give it to you later. Okay. John told me to get on here like 30 minutes before I got on here, so I didn't know what the topic was about or anything.
Fair. All I want you to do is I want you to go back and get the not now. Get the information showing me that the Dominican Republic is the most happiest country in the world.
It has been rated the happiest country, and I will show you what they looked at in order to determine that. I don't know what they looked at in order to determine that, but we'll get back to that and talk about that another time.
Which is fine, and I agree. I'm not trying to. John, be quiet. Let me just sit there and say, I'm not trying to backdoor you. Just please, I just want you to show, because I'm going to go out and do my homework and come up with something different. And we can put my homework against your homework. And that's what I want us to do. Not tonight.
Okay. Listen. Even that aside, whether we have to come with proof, evidence, all of this, what this is saying, what that is saying, I'm going to base it on my experience. You have to base things on what your experience is, because there's no place where it says, I have to see out of your eyes and feel and understand the same thing that you do. That's what makes us an individual. I'm an individual because I'm Shania. I like this. I like that. I like this. What I resonate with you is we both like Dominican Republic. Well, why would we purchase homes if we don't think this is a great place to live? You know what I'm saying? So there is something that you and I can agree with to say, okay, I want to buy a property in this country because when I go to this country, it makes me feel like this. Otherwise, you wouldn't have bought a property in Dominican Republic if it
Not
didn't
true.
uplift how you feel, whether
Not
it was
true.
your pocket, whether it was your pocket or
It
your
was my
heart.
pocket. It
And
was
whether
my
it was your pocket or your heart, you still feel something when you go there. That's why you want to go because you feel differently, right? I do.
I
I
disagree. But
do. I feel differently. There are things about the culture that I like that uplifts me when I go. And there are other places that do the same thing. I
yes,
decided to purchase property there. My husband is Dominican, but
Right.
I like how I feel. I like how they interact with each other. I like the family dynamics. There are a lot of things that I don't like. I don't like how they do their laws. Okay. I don't like, some of the things about, the police and this, that, and the other. I don't like the hospital system or the medical system. There are 1,000 things I can say about United States the same way. I can come up with a list of United States the same way. But when I go, it's about how I feel, and I feel good. So this is as what I think that they're saying. When people go there based on the survey, they feel like all the other different places that they go, but when they go to Dominican Republic, they feel good. That's it.
All right, time out. Great job, Miss Shania. Walk on, walk on. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. As people, we can't live with the basics. We always want more, leading to unhappiness at times. You're absolutely right.
I would have to agree. Yeah.
Hey, all right. Let's ask Junior. Junior, do you feel that the Dominican Republic people are happy?
In what sense you mean happy? Happy as because like I was saying before, saying that I feel happier here than I did in the States is because I guess the stress that I was going through, how my life was out there, you know, everything I was going through here. Yeah, here it's not that I have more stress here, but I feel more at peace. I
Yes.
feel more like I don't.
It's like weight
sometimes
off
it's
your
weird feeling
shoulders.
to describe because you have to
Hmm.
feel it, But like I said, I feel more free, spiritual wise. Like my mind, like I walked by the ocean. Like today, I was by the ocean and just let my mind
Hmm.
wander. And
Mhm.
I can't do that in an apartment when it's winter time
Mhm.
in the states. You're cooped up in an apartment.
Yeah.
So
No, and before we go, because I got to go in a little bit, let me ask you this question, brother. Do you believe that Dominican people are happy being poor? I mean, can they still be happy being poor?
don't answer the question. Just ask the fucking question.
I just asked. I didn't.
No,
I
no,
asked.
no. But you answering it too. You answering it too.
No,
I'm saying just ask the
you
question.
just lose.
Don't
You
answer
losing.
it.
You
No,
losing right now. So you trying
no.
to. That's
Don't
all. That's
answer
all.
it.
no, I can
Ask
say
the
what I
question.
can say is yes, because I see it. Even though they're poor, they still happy. Why? They wake up every day. They still have a roof over their head. Might not. It might be just a shack,
Exactly. Yeah.
but they're happy.
They're happy.
You know,
Yeah.
they you can see it in their spirit, in their
Mhm.
faces. That even though they're poor, they're still happy.
So can I ask you a question,
I
Junior?
can't say they can temper that. I could just say that they know that this is how I guess I don't want to bring religion into this, but how God want them to be, and they're happy with that.
So
They're
let me ask you a
Right.
question, Junior. By that logic, where is anybody not happy?
well,
United States.
Be quiet. Shut the fuck up.
no, it all depends.
Because again, by the logic you gave me, everywhere they have a roof over their head, everywhere they wake up, you know what I'm saying?
No, of course.
Where does that not exist?
No, that's everywhere. But I guess
so again, if it exists,
let him finish. You said let him finish. Let him finish.
Okay, go ahead, Junior.
Yeah, like I said, it exists, but I can't compare. Well, I'm saying you can't tell someone here be happy and then be happy in the United States, because it's not. I guess it has to do with maybe the island itself, or just them. They're spiritual. Their spirituality. If they believe that they're happy with what what they have, and that's how they're gonna be happy.
Okay, that's fine. But I want to say, like, again, for me, it always comes down to, again, if we're saying, okay, they're happy with, and I'll accept the premise, they're happy with these little things. Then I'm like, by that logic, Americans are happy by that little bit.
Of course.
Canadians are happy because all the countries have that little bit. So if that's all it takes, everybody's happy.
Yeah, everybody have pockets of happiness.
Everybody's happy. The whole fucking world, because everybody over the whole world has that. But what I'm sitting there saying is, I know how we define happiness. When I say that people from the Western world, that what I would say is, as an American, would I be happy being poor? No. So I'm not going to say that me being poor, I would not be happy, because if all of us were food insecure, housing insecure, we wouldn't be happy. So I'm like, if we're not happy in America being poor, why do we automatically assume people poor in another country is happy? That's my whole premise. Because in America, if we're poor, we would all say we're not fucking happy. We're struggling. We're food insecure. We're housing insecure. We're healthcare insecure. We would all say that in America. But then when we look at people in another country, we want to tell them that's good enough for you.
Let me ask you this question. Can you see a person's aura before they walk into a room?
No, I don't believe in that mumbo jumbo.
Okay. Well, if you don't understand what if you don't understand what that means, like, everybody carries a spirit around them. Okay. It can jump out at you, or it can make you walk away, be like, hey, them vibes I was feeling, I'm out the door. Okay.
Right.
So every place has an aura about it. It grabs you and it grabs you, and you see it before you get there. It's there. Whether you want to recognize that there is an aura around something or not, it exists. Whether you agree with it or not, it exists. It's been proven. Even scientifically, it's been proven. Okay? So what we're trying to say to you is Dominican Republic has an aura. Okay? And the aura grabs you and takes you. And it becomes one with that feeling.
Right.
And when you get there, you're like, oh yeah. That is why they have like 6 veteran satellite centers in Dominican Republic. It's not because veterans are getting worse when they get to Dominican Republic. It's because veterans are getting better when they get to Dominican Republic. Right. So it's been proven that the aura of Dominican Republic is helping veterans that are dealing with post-traumatic stress syndrome and all other kind of ailments. So that's what we're trying to say.
No, I agree. And you know what, Rico, and let me say this about Rico. Rico probably don't have no aura over his head because his hair is so nappy. The kinks in his head is messing up the aura, so you can't see nothing. And you know, he got buckshots in his head. That's messing his aura up.
Let me be clear. I have nothing against people who believe in the aura. I have nothing against people who believe. I don't believe in any of that. I won't say anything else disparagingly about that.
It's okay.
I'm being honest. I'm being serious and honest and not facetious, I don't believe in that. I don't have a lot of religious beliefs as well. So I'm saying that like that's where my position comes from. My position comes from that if your logic is one way here,
right,
then your logic needs to be the same somewhere else. So when I hear people in America say logically, when you look at things a certain way in America, then that same application needs to apply to Africa, Asia, Latin America. So when all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's okay to be unhappy being poor in America, then why the fuck is it not okay to be unhappy being poor other places? You're telling me that. So what I hear is if they're content, then all these poor people in America need to shut the fuck up. They need to shut up complaining. They should be content and they should be happy. But we don't say this in America or Canada or England. We don't tell poor people not to complain.
I've never said don't complain. That I don't feel like, and I don't think everybody feels like they shouldn't be complaining. I don't think that.
About every. Can I finish or not? I'm not speaking about everybody. I'm just sitting there saying as a holistic point of view.
I got you.
Right,
I got you.
We look at it as a holistic point of view that it's acceptable for poor people in the Western world to want more. But
everybody wants more. It's not just poor people.
So, okay.
But you're making it. I think you're being too technical about it.
Can I finish?
I mean, you've been beating it. I'm sorry. You've been kind of beating the dead. You've been kind of beating the same horse like multiple times. And that is like, this is why I'm saying something. You've been beating the same horse continuously. And no matter what we say, you're going to still beat that same horse. And you want us to maybe not necessarily agree, but you are going to continue to beat that same horse for the next 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Well, regardless of what we say, I mean, you're going to still feel that way. So that's why I'm saying you agree. We can all have an agreement or disagreement, but I don't necessarily agree, or maybe this other person may not agree, or they may agree with how you feel. But it doesn't take like talking about that same thing for like an hour.
I agree.
At this point, I don't agree with exactly what you're saying. I don't know about John or anybody else, but you have to be a little bit more open-minded. I think you're a little closed-minded when it comes to that point, is all I'm saying.
Okay, can I say this? It would be, I could accept everything you said if I had the same period of time to respond as you had time to speak. But you know what?
You have.
Every time I open my mouth, you cut me off. So I'm going to stop.
I don't cut you off. I haven't cut you off all night. That's not true.
Go ahead. I'm going to let you go.
Rico, really?
Okay.
Really?
When you're done, you point to me when you're done.
Point
to me when you're done and let me know when it's my turn.
Okay, look, this ain't my show. This John's show. Hey, but to me, at this point, you made that point like 10 times now, and to me, you're beating a dead horse. I'm sorry.
Can I have 30 seconds, sir, or not?
Go ahead, Rico.
Can I have 30 seconds, Shana?
You got the floor. Go.
Okay. Without interruption.
Then we're gonna go. Go ahead.
That's all I ask. Again, I'm done with it. I don't give it. I don't care. I'm content. I have my belief where I fall into. I'm good. I'm not even bringing up my point of view. You had an ample opportunity to state your position. I've tried to state mine. Y'all win. Fine. You, coach, and anybody else, believe whatever you want. I don't accept that premise. I'm not even stating my position. Make peace be still.
There you go. I appreciate it, Rico. No, I really love it.
Make peace be still, sir.
No, I'm about
I
to
don't
talk
need no
about.
It's
explanation. Make
not.
peace be still.
I'm about to
Don't
talk.
take it so
No, make peace
personal,
be still.
Rico. Don't take
No,
it
make peace
so
be
personal.
still.
We about
Why
to
Make
talk
do
peace
you
about.
be
take it
still.
so personal, Rico?
Hey,
No, because if the point was to cut me off, I'll cut myself off. Make
who
peace be
cut you
still.
off?
Make peace be still.
Hey, brother Junior. What before we roll out, man? We had a wonderful conversation. Um, I mean, we had a good time. We talked about a lot of different things. Um, I think you see the person that got their arm crossed. They got three people that that was like kind of winning, and then he got mad
Mad about what?
because you got proved wrong.
I done forgot more shit than y'all know. Continue on. Continue on. No, continue
Don't
on.
take it personal.
Continue on.
Don't
No,
take it
I done
so personal.
forgot more shit than y'all know. Continue on.
Junior, go ahead.
Don't take
Junior,
it
go
so
ahead.
No,
personal, Rico.
continue on.
Repeat that again. I'm sorry.
I want y'all to educate your listeners. Continue on.
Yeah,
But guess what? Don't come back crying to me with no bullshit later on. Because it's gonna be worse.
It's
Continue
important.
on.
Look, I can only state my experience. Okay. I can only explain what I've experienced. I'm married to a Dominican. Okay, so it's different. You're not married to a Dominican. Okay. I've been engulfed in the communities. I would have to say more than you have because when you come to Dominican Republic, you go to Punta Cana. You don't come to Santo Domingo. You're not interacting with a lot of Dominicans. You're in your secure subdivision. Okay. So the way I feel about things and the way you see things are going to be different because of my experience. So I can only go by what I have experienced and what I feel. Same with you. You can only go by your experience and what you understand. So there's always going to be different experiences no matter who it is. And I wouldn't be offended by it just because I don't agree. I mean, that's how life is. If people just don't agree, they just don't agree. But like I said, I can only base it on my experience. Okay.
I agree with that, and that's why I said that because I've lived it and I see it like that. Even though I myself, at the time of first coming here, was put in a situation, I was still like, wow, like it's pretty much it was a burden off my shoulder when I came here and I left United States like.
yeah, and I feel the same way, man. The pain is not as bad from all my surgeries, and it's not a lot of pressure. I can do things and say things and not have to have worry about any type of repercussions. And I think all four of us on the panel we love the Dominican Republic and we want the best. That's what I like about Miss Shania
Three of
and
us. Four of us
Al.
don't love it. I like it. I don't love it. I'm just pointing it out. I don't want you speaking for me. I enjoy the Dominican Republic. I enjoy my time there. I don't love the U.S. I don't love anywhere.
What do you love?
I love myself. I love
No,
America. I
really.
don't
That's
love
first.
any because I think it's a mistake, and I'm just saying I think it's a mistake when people do that because then all of a sudden you create blinders. I don't love the U.S. I do not love the United States of America. That's where I was born at. I don't love this motherfucker. I live here. So I'm
Got
not going to go somewhere else and love it. And that's all I wanted to correct you on. Continue on, sir.
Okay.
Okay, well, can I
Let
say
me,
something about
let
that
me,
point?
yeah, hold that thought. Rick James,
Okay.
thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Um, go ahead. Go, what you was about to say, and then I'm gonna read the super chat.
Okay, I love my husband,
Mm,
but
okay.
there are things about my husband that I don't like, and vice versa. My husband loves me because he tells me, but there are definitely some things that I don't like. There are things about Dominican Republic I love. I love Dominican Republic, and there are some things about the medical system I don't like. So you can still have love for something and still not like something. So that's only my only point about saying that. So I love Dominican Republic. I love United States. But
Right.
definitely there are some things about United States that I don't like. But that doesn't mean just because I have dislikes that I don't love United States.
Rico, I got a personal question for
I
you.
was just pointing out I don't love either one of them. That's all I was pointing out.
Yeah,
I
I
I
think
got
don't love anywhere. I
that.
like places. I don't love anywhere. That's all I was pointing out. And
No,
I definitely agree with what you said, Shana. I don't love, because for me to love is with exception. Like, meaning, like, I will take them. Like, no, I don't take America with its flaws. I take America, but I rail against that motherfucker. I have as much shit to say. I talk more shit about America than I do about other countries. But I'm
right.
going to talk shit about other countries too. Fuck that bullshit. Nobody's going to be exempt. So no, I don't love none of
Real,
you motherfuckers.
well, real
yeah.
quick. No P Diddy, but Rico, do you love me?
No, no.
No big
I
deal.
like your
That
ass.
was a good one.
I like you. That's it. That's as far. But that's just I just don't. So when you said that, oh, we all love. No, I want everybody to know I do not love the Dominican Republic. I have a home there. I'm going to retire there. I'm going to die there for my own personal reasons. Love ain't one of them.
No,
Love is not
Okay.
one of the
that's
reasons
that's your
why. That's
this is
it.
gonna be your peaceful,
Yes,
your
but that don't
serenity.
mean I love it.
No.
Right.
It's good
Okay.
for me.
Let
It's
me let
Okay.
healthy
me
for
read
me.
let me read the super chat, please. Miss Shania has statistics and experience to back up her argument. Love you, Rico, but uh, you got to take the L. Need her more on the show. That's right. Good job.
I bring my stats. Go ahead.
Now, Rico. Now,
I'll bring my
what
paperwork. I'm good.
what
I'll
I
bring
love
my paper. I'll bring my stats. Go ahead.
what I love about Rico being on the show, he keeps it real, and we talk about things, and everybody have their different point of view. And Miss Shania brought it up like 5 times. She said we can agree to disagree, and that's your opinion, and that's what I like. And hey, Junior, I really appreciate all y'all being on the show.
Thank you.
We got to drop Jordan off because he been here for 3 days, and it's time for his bad butt to go to the house. And y'all got any closing comments?
That's your goddamn fault. Speaking of Jordan, that's your fault.
I just want to say I appreciate the time. You guys let me um, in the chat, and um,
We're gonna
just
keep
thank you for
doing it.
the time. Let me express myself, give my inputs, and I appreciate you guys. I'm the type of person I like to learn new things from someone and anything. I've definitely learned things from Rico, Shania, and you, John. Like I said, first time I'm meeting you guys. I watched John. I watched the channel. I follow you.
Thank you,
Um,
brother.
because of Manuel. I know Manuel ever since 2020. We worked together, call center. So he's like my brother. And I hope we continue to
Keep it going. And
keep it
and
going.
Rico,
Definitely,
yeah, Rico always says it. Give people the right information and not bullshit and giving them the real deal, because a lot of times people beat around the bush. So
of course, of course.
I think Miss
And
Shania
let
had.
me say this
Go
to
ahead,
you,
Rico.
Junior. Thank you for coming up. I watched your interview, man, with Manuel. I don't know if I commented on it or not. I probably didn't. Um,
Yeah.
and I just want to say, like, I saw you were telling the background story about like you said, your situation in New York and so forth. And I didn't know fully of it, but I knew it was like, oh yeah, he got in some trouble. And I know some people down in Punta Cana in the same situation as you.
Yeah.
Dominicans lived in the States for 20, 25 years, got deported. And so believe it or not, a lot of people I know that the Dominicans are Dominican born, American raised, back in the DR based on those circumstances, very similar to yours.
Yeah. I just
Ran-
feel like I didn't get a fair chance. I know what I did was wrong. It's double jeopardy that you do the time, and then you get sent to a country you don't even know. There's a lot of things that I felt like first time getting in trouble. You didn't give me a chance. I was,
right. And
I was young, ignorant.
And I'm not here to repolitic that situation.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know how you feel about it. I would be mad as a motherfucker. Because again, now, so what I just heard you say is you wish like a motherfucker you could go back to the US.
Tell you the truth, there's times where I do and there's times where I don't. Granted,
but because see what I'm saying? So even though, because that's what you know, and it's like, man, I could go back.
That's
there,
all I know since
better
the age
life.
of 8. So it's like my family, my entire family is there. My kids are there.
That's the thing. When everybody always says, and that's all I would tell people. Like every time when we get into these discussions and people act like, oh, I'm like, and I'm listening to you and I'm hearing you, and I'm like, no, that brother wish he was back there for all the struggles, for all the bad, because again, he know, okay, I can go back there and I can move, I can do things, I can, and it's not that, it's again, your life here in the DR, you are happy, and I only say that because the fact, like, you're making the best of it, and that's what you're supposed to do. And sir, I salute you for it. I love you for it, because the bottom line is that's what you're supposed to do. But if you had a choice today or tomorrow, we all know deep down inside what your choice would be.
Of course, and I'll never deny that, because why? I'll be lying to myself.
And Junior, that's the question between happiness in the US or content in the DR. And that's how I'm trying to frame it to get people to understand.
No, I get you.
First, what is your first choice? Go back there. Your second choice, I'm going to make this here work. And that's what you're supposed to do.
Hey, so are you happy in the Dominican Republic?
She ain't been no goddamn where else. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, Junior?
So gonna close it out. I gotta go. So gonna close it out.
Okay, all right. But you see what I'm saying, Junior? This is what they do.
I understand. I understand.
Like, y'all make the question, and I'm not trying to say that these people are miserable. I'm just saying, okay, so pay attention. Look at me. All right. Now, where you at, Soul? Speak up. I can't hear you. Okay. What would be the place that you would go to that would make you the most happiest in the world?
I don't know.
I'm asking you. You can have this. Your wish. It's your wish. The genie out the bottle. Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
Where?
Korea or Canada.
Okay, genie out the so Korea and Canada would make you feel what? Where would Korea and Canada make you feel?
I like Korea because it's safe and like a different culture, and I like Canada because there's a lot of like nature and a lot of parks and stuff.
Oh, okay. So it's not safe in the DR, Santo Domingo?
Depending, but it's like
okay. All right. Okay. Stop. Okay. See. We're gonna take steps. We're gonna take baby steps. So you want to go to Korea or Canada? Those are the two places in the world. Anywhere else in the world that you would feel the most happiest? Where else in the world would you feel the most happiest? Korea, Canada.
Maybe here, my country.
Like, okay, so those are the top three. So which is number one?
Canada.
And then number two?
I think my country and then Korea.
Okay, so Canada, DR, and then Korea. Okay, so now, if you didn't get, if you got to go to Canada, how would you feel?
Okay. I feel
tomorrow. Like, here's a ticket. You can go to Canada. How do you feel?
Happy and blessed.
Oh, okay.
So
tomorrow, you don't get, right? You heard that word, right? See, do you see what I'm saying, right?
Yep.
Do you see what I'm saying? But again, they always sit there and make, and this is what I'm trying to tell people to think about. Okay, so and that's fine. So there's no right or wrong question. This is just like a thought process. Okay, you didn't get to go to fucking Canada. Where's your second choice?
Korea.
Wait a minute, you said DR.
Oh, yeah, but let's put it like I'm not going to DR. I mean, I'm here, but
Okay, so your second choice is Korea.
Mhm.
And if you got to go there, how would it make you feel?
At first, I think it would be kind of uncomfortable, but I would feel like great. It would be nice.
So you didn't get to go to Canada,
hmm
but they said, you didn't make the cut for Canada, but you can go to Korea. How would you feel about that?
Mm, blessed, and
Huh?
happy.
Uh, Junior, you heard that, right, Junior?
You'll be happy.
because again, you're getting because what happened. This is what happiness is. What you choose. See what I'm saying? Not what you accept. Do you understand? So you choose Canada, you choose Korea, but you accept where?
The DR.
DR.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's what all that again, the whole fucking night was about was trying to tell people like stop telling people who accept a condition that they're happy. Happy is what you choose. What you accept is not happiness. That's contentment. You're like, okay, well, if I didn't get, so in other words, when you choose Canada and Korea and you don't get any of them and you get the DR, what do you do?
I don't know.
You accept it.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like, okay. Like it is what it is. But what people's happiness is what they aspire to. Is what you choose, is what you want. When you don't get what you want, you're not happy. You're like, okay, I wanted a car, I wanted a motorcycle, I got a fucking bike. All right. Are you happy with the bike? No, because you wanted a car. And when you didn't get the car, you wanted a motorcycle. When you get the motorcycle, you accepted the bike because I don't have to fucking walk. These are choices in life. So what I always tell people is when you continuously telling people who don't have choices that they're happy with accepting what they got minus the choices, poor people don't have choices, right? They have to accept it that you're happy accepting what I give you. It's wrong. That's always been my position. Stop telling poor people who have no choices, because they have no other choice, dealing with food insecurity, housing insecurity. You have no choice that they're happy. That's my only issue is the word. Stop saying they're happy. Just say they're content. They don't complain. I get it. I'm
Of
not
course,
fucking
no one's happy being poor.
No one's happy. Exactly. That's my point.
Or sometimes no one's happy being rich because even though you can have all the money in the world, you still not happy.
But Junior, being rich, you have what?
You have everything.
You got choices.
You got choices. Yeah.
You can choose to be rich or poor.
Yeah.
Being poor, you can't choose to be rich.
No, that's right.
You have no choices. And that was literally the whole fucking night. It was just like
yeah, but still, if you're rich, that still doesn't mean that you're happy.
No, it doesn't.
Money doesn't bring happiness. There's a lot of rich people that are not happy.
I absolutely agree
Yeah.
with you, Shana. I absolutely now see now we on the same page. Now I'm Team Shana. I agree
I still
1,000%.
stand on how I feel. I mean, I
know.
get your point, but
Yeah.
that still doesn't mean I agree totally with you.
I agree. I agree. But
We, like I said, we agree to disagree, but
yes, but I do agree with you that like being rich
it doesn't
does
have.
not mean happiness.
No.
I'm not saying rich brings happiness. I'm saying give people choices. Poor people don't have choices, is what I was saying. And when I think is like people who are in positions of means, we have a choice. So I'm in a position and I can choose to be poor, I can choose to be okay. So I don't think it's fair for me to have a choice to tell a person who doesn't have a choice that, okay, their position they're happy with. I get to decide, you who have no choice, how you feel, but I have a choice. For me, that's where it kind of came into. I do not think that people rich are all happy. Some are miserable as fuck. I,
But possessions don't make you happy
I
either.
agree.
So even with what you're saying that they would be happy just because they have all these possessions and they have a nice house and they have money and all of
No,
these
no, 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 no.
brings about happiness.
I'm not speaking to I'm not speaking to them being happy. I'm speaking to us saying people without choices are a thing.
I
That's
mean,
all I'm speaking to. All I'm speaking
you
to is
feel that way, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
no, I'm not saying that.
I've seen it.
And this is what I'm saying, Shania. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that some poor people are not happy. Some poor people are happy. Some poor people, for whatever reason, have found happiness in being poor. There really is. If I look all over the world, there are some poor people that are just poor, and for whatever reason, they're fucking happy with being poor. I'm saying the overwhelming majority of poor people, they're not happy about being poor. They're content with it. They accept it,
Yeah,
but they're not happy
I
with
would
it.
have to agree. I'm content and I accept the salary that I have. That doesn't mean
Yeah,
I'm
but you're not poor either.
no, I'm not poor, but I'm just saying.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean that I cannot be dissatisfied in the state which I'm in.
And that's true too. So this is not about dissatisfaction, but
Yeah.
this is so. But here's the thing: you don't hear poor people walking around saying people in our position, me and yours, or rich people are fucking happy. They just don't say that. They just say poor people. What I'm saying is poor people don't put a value on people who have more than them. Like people who have more than them put a value on poor people. That's my point. Is the point that like people at a higher value, we look downward and we say, this is what these people are. And as a society, if you're up here, you can look downward and you can say, this is how these people are. These people down don't get to look up and put anything on us. They don't get to do it. That's the unfairness of the system. And that's all I was talking about was the unfairness, because poor people don't get to say shit about rich people. Rich people shit on poor people. They don't shit upwards. We shit downwards. That was my whole point. That was all my point was. People higher shit lower. People lower don't shit higher, however stupid that sounds. It does sound.
I
That's
get
all
what
I'm saying.
but everybody in the Dominican Republic is not poor.
No. I'm taking it outside of the DR. I'm just saying.
I know, but
world.
this show is about Dominican Republic.
Well, it includes the DR. The DR is a part of it.
DR is the number one factor why he has the show because
yes, but I'm saying,
experience.
but even if we keep it in the DR, the same thing applies. So what I always told Coach was so in other words, when me and Coach would always have conversations, Coach would sit there, and this was the part that would bother me. And so you can tell me, he would go to like the poorest part of the DR, and I'd be like, and he would film the shit, Shania, right? And I'm sitting there like, okay, he got people by the side of the river, right? So y'all know some of the places I'm describing, like fucking 4 pieces of wood leaning together, and I'm just sitting like, Coach, why are you saying they're happy with this? I mean, like the level of poverty was mind blowing, and he would do a video. It's on his channel. Look at these people; they happy, and I'm like, Coach, don't do that. Don't say they happy. Don't do that. Am I kidding, Soul? Soul, am I kidding? The video is on the channel. And it would be like unbelievable poverty. And he would tell me they're happy. And I'm like, no, they're not happy. They're surviving. Now, do y'all understand what I'm saying? I can pull the video up and show you.
No, of course. Like I said, it's all different types of happiness of someone's living. Of the way they feel. If they feel like that's all they need, it's a shack.
But here's the thing, Junior. If you came out of the fucking dirt, not that that's all you feel like that's all you need. Your perspective is you have no fucking idea of anything else.
Yeah.
So don't project to people. So in other words, I can't project to a 1-year-old who has the knowledge of nothing. That's all you need, because a 1-year-old at 1 year old, that's all they think they need is a tit. They don't think they need nothing else.
Yeah.
But we all know, like, bruh, that ain't gonna be enough. And that was what I was saying. Was I always tell people, I was like, I don't ever want to go to the DR, Jamaica. My wife's from El Salvador, any country, and sit there with people who are struggling to get it to make a better way. They're working hard to make a better life. And I don't want to sit there, and I don't want to demean them in any way to say that, hey, that's good enough for them. They're happy. No, because they want more. They want more. That's all they have. They're not complaining about it, but they want more. They want more. They want what we got. But that's all they have, and they're not complaining about it. And I love them for their perseverance and their go-get-it attitude. But they're not fucking happy, because if they were happy, they wouldn't be working as hard as they could to get more.
No, that's true.
So I don't want Americans to go over there, and we do this shit all the time. When I'm talking, I'm speaking to Americans. We do that because we do these things and we say these things to make us feel good. We're not thinking about those people. We're thinking about us. And that's what I'm pushing back against. So I always tell them, stop saying they're happy. Just say they're content.
Yeah.
Say they're okay. They're not complaining. Great.
They're not complaining, yeah.
They're not complaining. Great. Stop saying they're fucking happy. Stop. That is the only issue I have. I have no other issue about anything. I'm not saving them. I ain't got the fucking money. But I'm not going to sit there and say they're happy with it. But they want more. That's it. You want more, Soul? You don't want no more? Now I know she lying. I know she lying.
I mean, everybody wants more.
No.
Yes.
Everybody wants opportunity.
That's the nature of the beast.
That's everybody wants more.
Yes.
That's not an isolated situation.
So don't cut them off, because when if I said, oh, Soul's happy with fucking $3 a month, and she could be unhappy, and then what I do is I'm cutting off her access to progress, because now I'm telling all my fellow Americans, don't give her no more. That's all she need. She grateful. She grateful. That's all she need. That's all she need. And she be sitting there looking at me like, what the hell are you talking about, Rico, right? Because I'll be saying that. I'll be saying that nonsense. So don't do it. All right.
I thought you were saying about like keep on talking. I didn't know you were saying like if I want more. I thought you
Yes.
were saying about talking.
So you do want more?
Yeah, I do.
So let me ask you this. Okay. So how old are you now?
17.
Okay. Are you working?
No.
Okay. Do you plan on working?
Hmm.
Okay. So what do you hope to do for a living?
Um, I don't know. I've always liked the architecture, but I don't know about that. But that's what
Okay.
I like.
Okay. All right. So what do you think? You got one more year of school, right?
I'm out at like June, I think.
I mean,
I'll be
Are you finished with high school or what? I don't know.
Yes.
Mhm.
So you're done with school.
Yeah.
In June. I'll be done in June.
Okay. So in June you're done. So what is your plans after June? I don't know.
College.
Huh?
I want to go to college. So first, I don't
Where?
want to have a job first.
Okay. Okay. Where are you going to college at?
I don't know about that yet.
Okay. So do you have alternative plans? So say for example, it doesn't, getting my fingers crossed for you, but it doesn't happen right away. Because it may be a delay. It could be, especially if it's the US, it could be like some time, because of the paperwork. So are you planning on going to school in Santo Domingo? You froze?
Yeah, she's froze.
Okay, because I'm just asking a question, right? Because literally, yeah, okay. Did you
No,
hear
no,
me?
no. It was the the life is lagging.
Okay,
She was
so
froze.
so do you plan on going to school in Santo Domingo in case the U.S. doesn't go through right away?
Yes.
Okay, so you plan on going to school in Santo Domingo.
Hmm.
What university? I know they have a couple of schools, and so you're not planning on working at all. You plan on going straight to college, either the U.S. or Santo Domingo.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, so let me take it off of you. So hypothetically, one of your classmates that graduate, finish high school, and they have to go to work. What can they expect to make? Do you know? You don't have an idea, not a clue. Okay, so you don't know if you can make $1 million a month, $100 a month, $1 a month. You have no idea.
Mhm.
Are you even looking at it? Okay, you're no help. I'm like, okay, all right. But
Mhm.
it was worth a shot. I'm gonna leave you alone. We'll end it here. Um, Thank you. Any questions you got, young lady?
No, thank you.
No. See, that's what happened when you let your stepdaddy put you up to it. He left you in front of the lions. Okay. Well, so thank you. Shut it down. Make sure you hit at the end in the stream. When we go off the camera, you sit there and you say something nice for 5 minutes, like "Thanks for joining the Dominican round." We blah 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 blah. All the stuff you do, like you do after the news. Okay?
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, everyone, thank you for watching the live. I hope you all enjoyed the talk, and I hope you all had a great Holy Week. I hope you all stay safe. Um, that's all we had for today. And yes, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next live and all the videos next week. That's it. Bye bye.